Hi, we should be out of ads. Hello. Welcome on in, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm late, because I, got doing things. And I also got a late start, because I was also doing things. So, hi, I'm finally getting my act together today. So we're gonna go live with the game very soon. But just want to say hello, welcome in, everybody. Hope everyone's having a good day. My day has actually been really good. This has been a weirdly decent week for me, which is kind of nice given everything else going on. So like my personal life has at least settled down, even though I wish other things would settle down too. But I'm not going to dwell too much on that, because that is a heavy topic and not for here. Again, typically my kind of mentality about this is I'm not going to have like a no politics rule, because some things I will end up talking about even just in passing, but I'm also not gonna like go too deep into things, because I kind of want this to be an escape, not just from everyone but also myself. So I tend to not dwell on heavy topics. But yeah, at least my personal life is actually doing pretty good, which I'm very happy about. I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was like actively acknowledging how much I was smiling, which I think is a good sign. Yeah, things have actually been pretty decent on that front, though. Yeah, we should get started soon, because I am like 20 minutes later than I want to be. So if I want to get through everything I want to show today, I probably shouldn't be showing this menu now that I think about it. We're just gonna move on. Alrighty, for another installment of Fox Girls Favorites, we are playing the very first Kirby game I ever played, which was Air Ride. This was like a gift. I think this is the same scenario as Sunshine and Pikmin. I don't think this was a birthday thing. I think it was for like my adoption anniversary. So yeah, I played the hell out of this game as a kid. I had the exact same experience as literally everybody else who played Kirby Air Ride. Well, we'll get to that. You can guess my lore with this game if you know the average experience with Kirby Air Ride. But hi Devil, hi Aiden, welcome on in. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, also, just gonna note, I definitely, just downloaded a save file off game FAQs. I didn't unlock everything myself because I didn't really want to go to that much effort. So yeah, this is a very nostalgic game for me. We are going to go through all the modes for this little quick look. This will be very short, so me running late is fine, because we're not gonna end up spending too much time in this game anyway, probably. It's kind of like a Fox Girls Favorites one-off, but like on the YouTube side of things, there'll probably be a couple videos at least. We already have a really interesting feature here, where you can actually unlock alternate tracks for every main stage. So we actually have green greens instead of the actual song. That would actually be really fun, Aiden. I am down for that. I'm also down for some other stuff too. I talked about this before, but I almost want to get... Wow, I'm doing bad. I almost want to get a crew together for like Disney Party. I'm not even kidding. Try to get a crew together for Disney Party and Muppets Party Cruise, because those are also some of my favorite childhood games. Not even kidding. Not even... Okay, those are not favorite games. I actually don't like either of them. But important childhood games is how we'll put it. My like 7-year-old brain could not understand the rule set of Disney Party, so I actually did not like that game. But I want to go back to it as an adult and see if I can comprehend it. Wow, we didn't win the first race. That's not a good sign. You're also using the basic warp star, so I'll use that as my excuse. We'll try it again. I want to win every race, even though there's not really a reason to. Everything's like unlocked on this file, but just for the sake of like showing off some things. You also have a ton of unlockable colors. We'll go blue. Okay. There we go. I was like, we might as well at least get the, you know, main level song, because the music in this game is actually really good. A lot of it's actually shared with the Japanese version of Kirby Right Back at Ya, or Pushing no Kabi. Again, I reset actually just to get the other song, because we had already heard Green Greens. I am also just kind of like that with games. If I screw up very early on, I'll hit reset, which is also why I didn't end up playing Rhythm Heaven very much, because I was being very, like, obsessive over small mistakes at the start of songs. So yeah, it's also relevant because we are getting a new Kirby Air Ride this year, question mark. It's a Sakurai game, so I'm not crossing my fingers on that. I fully think it'll be 2026, because Sakurai games always feel like they get delayed, because he's such a perfectionist, just like me for real, that he's always like, oh, this game needs more time, so he ends up delaying it. Yeah, that's me also with like every rhythm game. That's me with Project Diva. I'll screw up really early on and then be like, shit, restart. And just be in a loop of restarting the game over and over again. That's a game I should stream sometime. It's a copyright nightmare, but if I don't save the game track, it should be fine. But I should play Project Diva eventually, because I do really like those games actually. Oh shit, they have the Warp Star. So every Warp Star has some different effect to it. So for example, the Warp Star is just the basic one. The one we're currently using, the Wing Star, allows you to glide better, which is very good for this track in particular. It's also very slow though, so if you're not in the air, you're gonna actually have problems. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more about Kirby Air Riders. I'm not like over the moon about it, just because it was a pre-rendered trailer, and in general, I don't get hyped for pre-rendered trailers. Which means like the entirety of Summer Games Fest was kind of a wash for me. Even the games I was like, looking forward to were still kind of like, I don't care. Because it's like, you know, Resident Evil 9 is probably gonna be great, but also the trailer told me nothing. So, yeah. That's just my stance on it, at least. Yeah, as you glide, you actually gain, like, boosts, so you can actually charge up a boost that way. But yeah, you also have all the copy abilities, too. A lot of them work like they do in the main game. So, for example, Plasma still works the same, which is very awkward trying to, like, rotate the control stick in a racing game. Yeah, it's very stroby, actually. I forgot about that. Let's see. You never learned how to properly use that? Yeah, you have to like spin the control stick, which again is not easy on a game like this. What else? The actual racing mode I think is overhated. I don't even think it's that great, to be honest. I get why everyone just talks about stage trial. However, I do actually have a soft spot for this game in general. The other interesting thing is it's like a 2-button game, essentially, or a 2-input game. So for example, you have basically A, L, and R all as action buttons, and then you have oh shit, that was really close. Then you have the control stick, and that's it. So your basic actions are you press A to brake or like use an action. Yeah, we're 0.07 seconds ahead, so we barely won that. Let's go Wagon Star. This one's funny. This one can't actually charge up a boost, you can only brake with it. But the attacking is done by like moving the stick back and forth, left and right. Like that. Thank you for demonstrating, other Kirby. Wagon funny, and so true. There's a really cool shortcut in this stage. Hell if I remember where it is. But yeah, I'm not guaranteeing we're winning with the wagon, not gonna lie. Hello Mario, welcome on in. This will probably be a short stream, by the way, because I started late, and also, like, there's only so much air ride you can do anyway. Especially single player. Because it's like, I enjoy the game, it's not a very deep game. Like, if you release a game with this much content at full price, like, this game got kind of bad reviews at the time. It's like a 50 out of 100. It was also Sakurai's last Kirby game that he directed. Because then he left HAL, I think, over creative differences during Nightmare in Dreamland. And also this, because he was doing both, because of course he was, again. He is a very unique individual, and I will leave it at that. Yeah, I could have sworn there's a shortcut here, or something. Yep, there is. Okay. I was not forgetting. But yeah. He went and basically made his own company, and then they're like, we're gonna make a new Smash Bros. And he's like, I don't trust y'all. And then he comes back to do it, because that's just how he is. It's like, if Smash 6 ever happens, I fully believe, even if he retires, Sakurai will actually be back for it. Like, I heard a rumor somewhere that, like, Air Ride is sort of, like, one of the last games he really wants to make. I don't know if that's from his YouTube channel or what, but I've been hearing that going around. That's like, you know, basically he might retire soonish. But it's like, if they do another Smash, he might come back for that. I kind of hope he doesn't. I want a fresh take on Smash Bros. You know, maybe as a supervising role, but as like lead developer, I don't really want Sakurai to make Smash 5. That might be a hot take. I don't know. But that is honestly how I feel about it. My voice was kind of froggy today, so I do apologize. I'm very low energy. I've been staying up way too late. Do not ask me why. Indeed. But yeah, what else? I love the song, by the way. Again, a lot of the music is also using the Japanese version of Kirby Hoshinakabi. Again, I'll just be a weeb over here and say Hoshinakabi. I'm kind of like weird about languages like that, where I try to like say things really properly. Like I took Japanese for a semester, and I was definitely a little bit like more uptight about pronunciation than most people were in that class. Like, for example, a lot of people do the thing where they're like, Ohayo gozaimasu, and it's just like, I'm perishing. So like, I always try to say things very much like how they would, like, so it would be Ohayo gozaimasu. Like, the U is not supposed to be pronounced very strongly in a lot of the end of a lot of Japanese words. And that is something that drives me up the wall when localization doesn't account for that. Or just normal colloquial Japanese spoken by non-native speakers. Yeah, Sonic Heroes plays like ass. I love Sonic Heroes. I will not defend Rail Canyon in particular. Because those rail controls are a thing. Again, if it wasn't for the fact that I did like a shadow build-up before the movie, I probably would have done Adventure 2 and Heroes for Fox Girls' favorites. The only problem is I don't want to do them again. It's like I have a high tolerance for Sonic games. I don't want to play it like twice in the span of 6 months. Like, you know, realistically. I'm trying to remember, like, was the year I got Kirby Air Ride the same year I got, like, Shark Tale and GameCube? I think that was a little bit later, actually. Yeah, I actually played a lot of movie games as a kid. Again, I had a thing where I didn't like to stray too far from series I knew. So, for example, I don't know what I'm trying to say. For example, I tended to not branch out very far from like Mario or just Nintendo in general. I'm very much a Nintendo adult, as they say, for all the good and bad that entails. So the other thing is Meta Knight attacks automatically, which is kind of nice, but he also doesn't charge up, so we might lose this race, because I don't remember how to play Meta Knight. But yeah, you have different player conditions to unlock every character, and all the different vehicles, different alternate tracks, alternate Kirby colors. But some of the achievements in this game are stupid, like ride every rail in this stage, which is like, I bet the best way to do that, like in one go of it, basically. I bet the best way to do that is literally just like set the lap count to like 10 to 20, so that way you have like extra chances at it. Because otherwise, I'm not entirely sure I'm supposed to do that in 3 laps. There are like 6 rails over there. But yeah, basically gifts kind of forced me to branch out. Kirby is actually an exception though, because I was familiar with Kirby even going into this game. I had interest in Kirby anyway, and that's why it was a gift, I assume. But I had sort of caught the tail end of a lot of Kirby Right Back Atcha, because it always aired before Sonic X. And since I was a huge Sonic nerd at the time, I obviously wanted to see Sonic X. That was back when it was the Fox box and not, you know, CW. Rip CW, pour one out, because, yeah, that network got driven into the ground. That says a lot of things connected to Warner Bros., it feels like. But anyway, I generally had an awareness of Kirby. No joke, my mom wouldn't let me play Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland because the name Nightmare in Dreamland made it sound too scary for me, because I was a very, like, sensitive child. I was very easily freaked out by things, so, like, my parents, well, again, mostly my mom, and that's a whole story I don't want to get into, was very, like, protective of the media I consumed. And I'm actually grateful for that, because I definitely think I would have ended up traumatized if I wasn't. I was also a very, like, you know, I want to be a good insert diminutive gender form for what would be appropriate for that time. So I didn't want to watch, like, I was, like, nervous about playing games that, like, had a suggestive themes rating, because I was like, oh, I need to be, like, a pure kid, kind of. Like, this is not even a joke, by the way. I tried to be, like, super innocent as a kid, and it's really funny in hindsight. Why am I playing DDD on Beanstalk Park? This is a mistake. Because this is, like, a flying heavy stage. So I should probably go with something semi-traditional. Jetstar might actually be a good option, but it's also slow on the ground. Maybe I'll just stick Shadow Star. As a kid, I usually use that, or the wheelie bike. I also don't know why I'm blue. I'm blue now, that's my attack. But with Kirby, again, because I had seen little bits of it, I was willing to try this game more readily. The funny part is there were, like, no mainline Kirby games, because if I'm taking out, you know, Nightmare in Dreamland because it sounds scary, what else is there at this time? There wasn't one on consoles I owned, because, like, there was a GameCube Kirby in the works, it didn't actually come out. That's a whole story in itself. Let's see. I don't think Amazing Mirror would have been out at that point, actually. So yeah, I didn't really have options to actually delve into the Kirby series. We'll go into that at a later time, what my first mainline Kirby game was. So this is generally still seen as mainline, at least partly because Sakurai's last game was this for Kirby until now. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird case of... I really didn't branch out much. And even, like, at this point, basically it took Smash Bros. To get me to actually branch out more. With Smash Bros, I ended up discovering... I mean, I'll save the story for then. It's like, why am I telling the story now? It's gonna be relevant later, because Melee's on the list. I don't know if Brawl's on the list yet. Because I'm kind of like, Brawl is important to me, but also, do I want to suffer through Subspace Emissary? Because I don't... Hot take, I don't actually like Subspace Emissary. I think the cutscenes are great, I think the gameplay is kind of boring. And once you take out all the fan service of it, it's just kind of like there. But again, that might be a hot take on my part. Are you enjoying all the stories? Hope you are. Hope chat's enjoying them. Yeah, there we go. Piece of cake. But actually, the checklist times for some of these stages are really strict. I never was able to do it as a child, and I actually tried again as an adult, still couldn't do it. Let's play D&D here, this will probably fit, kinda. The other interesting thing is with Smash Bros. It actually got me to try a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't have tried otherwise, because I was always a little bit nervous about Zelda. One fun story, we'll get into this later as well. I wasn't really allowed to play Zelda or Pokemon as a kid because of like religion. Again, I'm sure I'm gonna tell this story again in the future. But yeah, I was not allowed. I was one of those kids who was like not allowed to play games that were like sacrilegious. It's like the references to deities in Zelda, along with like just Pokemon being Pokemon. If you are like a familiarity with Christianity in the 90s and early 2000s, you know plenty about that. So yeah. My gaming tastes were kind of limited for a ton of reasons, and yeah, Smash Bros. Was when I started branching out. I also started being less openly religious. Or not openly religious, but like practicing. And even then, I didn't ever really practice religion. I'm gonna have the funniest story to tell during Pikmin 2, because I always associate one part of Pikmin 2 with the Rapture. I'm not even kidding. This is not an exaggeration, and it's like the funniest story out of context, but we'll get to Pikmin 2 soonish. I say soonish, but we also have Thousand Year Door to go through before Pikmin 2, I think. No, actually, Pikmin 2 might be next. I need to check the spreadsheet. I've also forgotten a couple games too. I realized, like, with the recomp, I really could do Lego Island. That'd be a one-stream game also. But also... Oh, god damn it, Kirby. But also... Ow. And this stage isn't easy. We might have to give this another chance. Yeah, that was kind of the point of Smash. It's basically an ad, if you think about it. Like, just a really fancy advertisement. It's a fun ad, but still an ad. He kind of plays like ass, I'm gonna be honest. Like, he's obviously good in combat, but he's not really good for actually racing. So yeah. But yeah, there's a couple of movie games I was kind of torn about. Like, Rogue Squadron was the one I considered but threw out because of, like... Rogue Squadron without the music is kind of lame. I almost thought about throwing in Spider-Man 2, actually, because that's a game that's very important for my childhood. That was my first open world game, and also probably why I love open world games so much. Yeah, I actually do really enjoy open world games. But again, I'm torn on Spider-Man 2 just because it's like... I don't know how much I enjoy playing through it on stream. Yeah, that might also be... That might actually be before Pikmin 2. If I decide to squeeze in. I'm also torn on DLC, because like if we're going about playing Xenoblade, do we count Torna as a separate game? Or do we lump in Torna as part of the Xenoblade 2 playthrough? And the same goes for Future Redeemed in Xenoblade 3. And also, no Xenoblade 1, because it's actually not a favorite of mine. I'm actually trying to figure out how to do that, though, because it feels like I should do a playthrough of Xenoblade 1, but I don't think it would count as a favorite. I made an exception for Sonic 1 because it's short, and also Mario 2 because it's short, and also Birdo's trans. So, Xenoblade 1, on the other hand, is like, I don't know how I'm gonna carry a playthrough of Xenoblade 1 by myself. I'd probably have friends on if I get to Xenoblade. Another thing I've kind of contemplated is for Mario, like Thousand Year Door coming up. Like, I did Superstar Saga mostly by myself, or entirely by myself for voicing. But part of me almost wants to try to see if anyone would be interested in helping out for a Thousand Year Door playthrough for like reading dialogue. Because there's a lot going on in that game, and it might be fun to kind of hang out with friends. But then trying to schedule around that will just be difficult for a 30-hour RPG, so that's kind of the thing I'm a little bit iffy on. I had a Discord server, but deleted it because of certain activities happening with Discord recently. So I'm kind of torn on if I want to try again. And then, or at least just have like a friend server to have like calls set up for streaming purposes. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to go about like hosting like collab streams and stuff. Yeah, another thought I had is like, if this game ever comes out on NSO, and if I know enough people who have a Switch 2 by then, I would also be down to play it that way. But again, Parsec would also work, potentially. I want to do Parsec stuff. Actually, that'd be really fun. Like, trying to get a Mario Party crew together and go through like all... Would that be a bad idea, trying to do a complete Mario Party playthrough of every board and trying to get like friends on board with all of them? Oh, that's a really cool shortcut. I screwed it up. You can basically clip part of the ground and launch yourself over that like one section. I'm actually gonna do this stage again to kind of show it off a little bit, I think. Because it is actually kind of neat. And there's also another shortcut I forgot to show, and I don't remember where it actually is. But again, we'll do one more lap just to show off a couple more secrets. This is one where I actually do remember, because this was one I tried to get all the time trials on. Basically, if you hit this wall just right, you can open up a shortcut. We're gonna screw around a little bit since we already won. It's really hard getting enough speed to break through that, though. What are some other games that would be fun for Parsec? I mean, some are on NSO, like I feel like if I asked like Freeze to help out with a game clearing of Gunstar Heroes, he'd be down as an example. Part of me almost wants to like Shrek 2. Oh my god! Actually, that wouldn't even be a bad idea because I have played a lot of Shrek 2 in my time. That was another childhood game that would almost be in consideration for this series, but I feel like playing it by myself on stream might not be interesting. But hey, if we can get a crew together for that, I wouldn't be opposed. You played so much Shrek 2? Yeah, same. I really enjoy Shrek 2 a lot. Not even kidding. For like a Shrek 2 multiplayer playthrough. Yeah, you can clip this over here and like skip the whole like maze section. That's what I was trying to show off. Also, hi Minerva. Welcome on in. One more stage. This one's actually very linear, so we're just gonna go Formula Star for Nebula Belt. There's also like no items here. It's kind of a boring stage, I'm gonna be real. This is like the Rainbow Road equivalent, but it also kind of sucks. So, not the best note to end on. You also have to do like 99 laps in total across all other tracks to unlock this, so it's really not worth it. Another game I've thought about trying to figure out some way to do multiplayer for is, you know what? Actually, I just had a different idea. Monkey Ball. Monkey Ball 2... online, like Parsec, going through the different mini-games, like the billiards mode, Monkey Target. I think that'd be fun. Cause like, I don't like Monkey Ball as someone with vertigo, to be really blunt about it. However, I do really enjoy the mini-games of Monkey Ball. So I would almost want to get a crew together for that. Then again, that would also necessitate me actually making a new Discord and actually not, you know, being afraid of, like, hate raids and things like that, which is, definitely a me issue at a point. Like, the actual odds of me being hate baited, because I'm such a small creator, it's not even that high of an odds. It did happen once, where I got, like, follow bot rated. But I have save bot set up, so that's fine. Discord's a whole other story, though. So I do worry about that. I bet the bitrate looks completely trash on this stage. For the stream feed. At the very least, it might be losing a lot of detail, but this is, like... Yeah, it's probably looking pretty crusty on stream right now because of how many effects are happening. Alright, so that is every stage in Air Ride. Again, going through all these is not that bad. You do have settings though, you can like tweak a bunch of stuff, like handicap settings, speed settings, You also have all the handicap settings and CPU settings too, so there was some customizability. There's a free run mode. You either have like just trying to go around as many times as you want, trying to get laps, or trying to get as good of a time as you can in 3 laps. KO is for a speed boost, and you also have copy abilities. Alright, records is the fun part. Again, I just downloaded a save file off the internet because I didn't want to be bothered to go through all of these. Yeah, some of these are incredibly strict. And yeah, some of them do unlock like special movies and stuff. You know, the alternate sounds, alternate songs. You can actually force the bonus song by holding X to Y. Yeah, this is also how you unlock different vehicles, because I think you only have the Warp Star at first. And they're also separate by mode, too. Yeah, some of these take forever, like lighting for 30 minutes to unlock Meta Knight. That is time-consuming. Melee has a similar problem, where it's like, oh, play the game for like this amount of time to unlock Mewtwo, and it's like, that sounds like hell. Defeating 1,000 enemies sounds awful. But yeah, you do unlock like a special ending video for getting 100 of 120, so you don't have to complete everything. You also get the little hammers to like break tiles if you can't be bothered to, or if you don't want to bother, or if you're like stuck on a particular challenge and can't do it. That is a valid option. I don't think they'd be all gold if you actually break them with a hammer. Yeah, just a quick look. Again, if this game ever comes out in NSO, I almost would be tempted to try to actually beat it for real. Because I never did that as a kid. That actually would count for a game clearing. Unlocking this ending organically. So doing 100 out of 120 challenges for every mode. That would be awful. I've seen like videos go by about like this game being a real journey to complete everything. Hi San, welcome on in. Yep, we are riding stars. Hope you're doing well. Good to see ya. Pat us on. But yeah, still a very nostalgic game for me. I never got this as a kid because I was not good at it. Space Trains in the Cosmos, hell yeah. But yeah, that takes care of Air Ride, so I guess we'll hop over the top ride. A mode I'm not very good at, to be honest, so we'll see how this goes. So, game settings are very similar. But we only have 2 vehicle types, the Free Star and the Steer Star. So this is like tank controls, and this one's like free controls. So it's very interesting. Yeah, decent time with this mode, that's good. I'm bad at it. This is not the default song, and I'm trying to remember what song this is. I think it's from Superstar, which is also a game I didn't play until much later. Yeah, I feel like with 4 actual humans, this mode would be really fun. But with CPUs, it's kind of like, it's alright. It's kind of forgettable, I guess. This has like kind of Mario Party minigame energy. I don't mean as like a diss, but like it is less deep, you know, conceptually. You only ever played single player? Yeah, maybe we should try to get like an Air Ride crew together. Reminds me of Dot Dash from Crash Bash. I've never played Crash Bash, actually. Fun story. I don't think I played like many first-party PS2 games. Or PS1 games. Yeah, Parsec. Like, you know, part of me just wants to like go through games either once from my childhood or my friends' childhoods. Or like through Parsec and do like multiplayer nights. I think that'd be fun. At some point. I also still need to play Spyro 2 and 3. Because I still haven't. I've only played Spyro 1, and I liked it. But here, I'm under the impression that 2 and 3 are better. But have you played... Oh no. Spyro Orange, oh my god. It always comes back to Spiral Orange. Orangey glad that you did. Orangey glad I didn't say Crash Purple. That was a terrible joke. I apologize. You think 1 is better than 2, but 3 is better than 2? Huh. Interesting. Because it kind of feels to me like Spyro 2 is always the one that people really like. What is that emote? I know what that emote is, but what is that emote? It's like, why is it just an emote of Geese Howard? It's like, I shouldn't be surprised, and yet. This is chaotic. I'm actually kind of focusing a little bit. But yeah, I really never played Top Ride very much. There's a joke in here somewhere about me not really playing much of Top Ride. But I don't know how to formulate it at this time, while also trying to play the race. Yeah, most backtracking, that makes sense. I was gonna say... Actually, what was I going to say? I have played the Crash trilogy at least, but I also haven't played CTR. Why did I think of something completely unrelated when I said CTR? My brain, when I said CTR, my brain went to CPR. As in cardiopulmonary resuscitation. And not anything else. Silly? Yeah, I'm very silly at times. This is what sleep deprivation does to me. I get very silly. Like, the core gameplay of Top Ride's not bad. I just... In general, I think Air Ride needs more content. And, you know, maybe not remake, but the new game will have a lot more stuff going on in it. Because, like, the core gameplay, I think... The core fundamentals are actually not bad. Yeah? I'm just, like, trying to keep up with chat and also play Top Ride at the same time. Oh, like a paint item. I forgot that was in here. I think that's actually unlockable. Some power-ups are actually unlocked through, like, checklist stuff and aren't actually available by default, which is interesting. Yeah, like, if you got the hang of this mode, it's actually pretty satisfying to go through. And I actually kind of like the Steer Star. Maybe it's the Resident Evil fan in me enjoying, what am I trying to say? Tank controls. But yeah, I actually do kind of like, the Free Star or the Steer Star a fair amount. This stage is broken as hell, because if you catch the right light, you basically skip the entire race like that. So yeah, you can break this one really easily if you want. Or you can be me and crash into a wall. That works too. Hi. Baby birds are attacking. It's almost worth it to go out of your way for the shortcuts, to be honest. Even if you might have to divert course a little bit. What other games have I played that... like childhood games that... Have I played that... What am I trying to say? Oh my god. What other childhood games have I played that probably won't come up in Fox Girls' favorites? A lot of them are movie games, to be honest. Spider-Man 1 movie game has a really interesting tidbit to it, where there were codes to basically play as any character in Spider-Man 2. In Spider-Man 1, there was actually a mode to play, a code to play as Mary Jane Watson, but because of the ending of the game where, like, Spider-Man saves Mary Jane and they kiss, they got rid of it. Because they didn't want to have... I don't know what aspect of that they didn't like, to be honest. Was it like Mary Jane kissing another Mary Jane, or just kissing women in general? It's like, I actually don't know what the reason was, but in later reprints of Spider-Man 1, they actually got rid of that. It's a wild conversation to be having during Kirby Air Ride, of all things. Wow, that completely threw off my train of thought. Spider-Man 2, yeah, I'm almost tempted to do. It would probably take 2 or 3 streams, especially if I rush it, and if I do stuff off-screen, or off-stream, on my own time. but I'm not entirely sure if I want to, or if I want to stick to like non-licensed stuff for the most part. Another one is Star Wars Battlefront, because like I literally got a PS2 for it. No joke. But copyright hell, and also it's just a pain in the ass to run. I found out that the console versions have a different field of view than the PC versions, and it actually makes me motion sick. Hi Nicole, welcome on in. Yeah, we're just playing some Air Ride. We're going through the top right at the moment before we spend the entire second half of the stream on City Trial, probably. Like, not even kidding. Oh no, this stage is a lot. Okay. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Again, I'm actually having a surprisingly good, like, week, all things considered. Like, the last 7 days have been very interesting. Wow, I'm not doing great here. I also wonder when the hell we'll hear more about this game. Like, the speculation is we always get a Nintendo Direct around June. We were obviously getting one this time. Nintendo immediately, like, stealth announces, like, a new Splatoon spin-off. So it's just making people be like, wait, so, when are we actually getting a Direct? So yeah, I don't know when we'll actually hear about this game next. It's kind of a mystery to everybody. Anyway, that was on the top right stages. This mode's not very long. Again, I feel like if this just had like double the tracks for both modes, Air Ride would be better remembered than it is for more than City Trial. But just because there's so few tracks, it ends up being a little bit forgotten. And yeah, you have like a crap ton of missions here too. Just gonna quickly skim through. And again, you get the little purple boxes to like fill out spaces if you don't want to unlock things for one reason or another. Yeah, these are actually also very strict because the times are so short. You have very little room to mess up a lot of times. And some of these are luck, like getting the same item 3 times. That's completely chance. Oh, that is the ending for this. So we get more credits. In general, I think with Kirby Air Ride, my general opinion of it is the first 2 modes are decent. They're not like outstanding, but again, maybe a little bit overhated. But there is the overall opinion I have of like, if it wasn't for City Trial, this game would not be as well remembered. It's one of those games where it's like, if someone like pops off for Kirby Air Ride, I'm like, yeah, I'm right there with them. Like, hell yeah, more Kirby Air Ride. You know, love this game, childhood favorite. But it's like, if someone played the game now and didn't come away liking it, because like there's not that much content beyond City Trial, I wouldn't begrudge them for that. I think that's a totally fair opinion, because this game is kind of like mechanically shallow. Like, I think the skill ceiling is actually higher than people give it credit for it because of the one button thing. It's like, oh, well, it's the Battle and Wonder world of racing games, but it's like, I think it is more complicated because you have like the drift turns, copy abilities. You do have a decent amount of actual like strategizing, and I do again think the skill ceiling is not too bad on this, but it is a case of, in general, the first 2 modes just don't have that much content to them, and City Trial doesn't really either, but it's got more replay value, period. You also have like special movies over here, like tutorials, all the intros to the machines, but yeah, you can tell a Sakurai game very easily because they all look very much like his style of UI design. I just realized I never did that hydrate from like an hour ago. So I'm gonna take care of that real quick. Alrighty, last up we have City Trial, which is everybody's favorite. Let's not kid ourselves here. City Trial, that was a little laggy actually. City Trial is really fun. It's very, like, in the spirit of the whole game, where it's, like, kind of simple, but very... In this case, I think it's very addictive. You play City Trial itself. You just did the free run, I take it. Yeah, we'll go through this. We might go through it a couple times. I remember liking a lot of the random events. For example, like Dyna Blade from Kirby Superstars, who I didn't even know who she was. But, you know, cool giant bird shows up and starts stomping around. It's like, you know, my 8-year-old self thought it was really cool, even though I didn't get the reference of it. Then I played Kirby Superstar years later. It's like, oh my god, this is the thing in City Trial. But yeah, I actually wouldn't play Superstar until the DS version. I thought about adding that to the list, but I'm already doing Squeak Squad around the same time, so I think I might pass on Superstar Ultra as much as I do enjoy that game. Just because I kind of feel like there wouldn't be enough. Like, I kind of put a hard cap on myself because I realized I was getting ahead of myself anyway. So I ended up deciding I want to do 50 games for this series. 50 games that either are my favorites or are emotionally significant to me. Like again, Super Mario Bros. 2 is a case where it's like, I'm not really crazy about Super Mario Bros. 2 on face value, but because Birdo was like my first experience with a trans character, it's like this is very relevant. And to be fair, I did play a crap ton of Mario 2, albeit unsuccessfully, because I was bad at it. The orange boxes can actually have special Air Ride machine parts for the Hydra and the thing in Smash Bros. Why am I blanking on the name? Dragoon, I think? And it's actually really fun to just glide around with the Dragoon. Just like zoom all over the place, you know, with reckless abandon. In general though, it's not really great in my opinion to try to spend too much time going for them. Just because it does waste time, essentially. You can also break this giant star. The big question I have for Air Riders, the other funny thing is I'm so backed up on videos that I'm doing like 2 uploads a week on my YouTube channel of like streams that are cut down to like episodic format. By the time this would actually go up on YouTube, Air Riders might actually have more details, so this might have aged very poorly. I realized that about the DK94 playthrough, where I was talking about stuff that's like, that aged poorly, because I was talking about like Switch 2 and stuff. Yeah, I like Birdo. She's not like my favorite Mario character, but I think she's cool. Interestingly named Catherine in the Japanese version. Let's see here, and yeah, the other big question mark I have is, do I split DLC into its own, separate game, basically? And again, that's mostly because of Xenoblade. Like, do I count Torna separately from Xenoblade 2, or do I do the fun thing that's the, like, air quote intended order, actually, and play like 7 chapters of Xenoblade 2 and then play Torna? Like, what if I do it the way the developers intended? Or would that just be really confusing? I don't know. Like, it actually might be fun to finally do, like, that order. But it might be confusing. The Kino order. For me, it's just... Torna plays very differently, so going to Torna and back to 2, I think would be really confusing. I think I'd throw off my brain quite a bit. Like, my brain would just kind of melt a little, trying to like process doing both, like, gameplay styles, back to back to back. And again, Feature Redeemed is straight up DLC, so I almost would be more willing to count that as just part of the 3 playthrough. The problem is, the reason I love 3 is not represented in Feature Redeemed in some ways. Again, not to get into Xenoblade spoilers, but my overall take on Feature Redeemed is, the base game is like very emotionally resonant, while the DLC is kind of like a character nostalgia kind of trip. It's not... I don't mean that as a bad thing, to clarify. It's just like... it is more like the character send-off versus the thematic conclusion to the trilogy, if that makes sense. It's like, I love Xenoblade 3 though. It is probably my current favorite game. Barely... Well, not barely, but definitely like nudging out the previous, which would have been Thousand Year Door, probably. Well, that sucked. I kind of abandoned ship too early there. And yeah, that's the other thing. Well, I guess we might as well shut it off too. In a moment. Wow, I botched that. Okay. I might do another air ride sea trial run after, but again, I wanted to quickly go over free run. So yeah, you can choose any vehicle you've unlocked through the checklist and just kind of go around for a bit. Ow. You also have access if you unlock them through the checklist for this mode. The Dragoon and Hydra. The Dragoon is extremely good at flying. I actually prefer it because it's overall faster. The Hydra you have to charge up for a really long time, and then release. So if you can actually have the patience to go to top speed, cool. I'm not that patient though. I just kind of like want the immediate catharsis of the Dragoon being able to just go this fast, because I am very, very impatient as a kid, and that has kind of not changed. Yeah, you have all sorts of random events like a UFO appearing with like items on top, so if you actually get up to the UFO, which is not easy, it's very high up, you can get a bunch of unique rewards, meteors falling, fog, Tack, the thief cat, showing up, and you can basically defeat him for extra items. Rubber boxes, so like the boxes are bouncing, fake power-ups. There is a lot of randomness. The weird realization I'm having in this very moment, this is a Kirby roguelike, or roguelite. And I don't know how to feel about that realization. But yeah, this is basically a roguelite mode, like for the main city trial mode. And I really hope they build on that for Air Riders. I really want... I want a couple more areas, maybe a bigger world might help, or maybe just several different cities, like different hub worlds that you can basically choose between. Because like the city is great, but I think like having different worlds, like set on different planets from the Kirby series, but still following the same format of collect stuff, and then, you know, jump into a challenge to see who's built their best build for this particular challenge. It's Smash Run basically, but Smash Run kinda wasn't great because, in my opinion, it was just very limited by being stuck on the 3DS. Why they never brought it back in Ultimate is beyond me, to be honest. That was my #1 criticism of Smash Ultimate, is where the hell is Smash Run? Because that would have made it like much more replayable, and I think my opinion of Smash Ultimate would actually be better if Smash Run was present, with like more modes and like a bigger map and everything. Yeah, the realization that this was sort of like my first roguelite experience is like kind of blowing my mind, not gonna lie. You can also go inside the volcano, so that's cool. Like, if you go over here, you can just kind of break through this wall. And yeah, you can use this to get up to this platform. This is the best way to get to the UFO if that event plays. The other cool thing in general with Sea Trial is you can just eat a vehicle. Well, actually, most vehicles don't get yeeted. The Dragoon is just that fast. But you can basically run around and jump onto different vehicles that spawn in. In free run, you just have access to all of them. So like, yeah, to demonstrate the Hydra really quickly, it takes forever to actually build up enough power. But if you get to max power, it is like the fastest vehicle in the game, basically. So yeah, it's very interesting. I wish these were actually present in Air Ride, but they would be very broken, admittedly. Again, not a fan of this one because I don't like the build-up time. it's worth it if you can build up, but some modes are actually so short that like the time it takes to build up the Hydra charge, the mode's already done, which is kind of a bummer. But again, you can actually take that into account, like literally collecting power-ups to increase charge time or decrease charge time would help the Hydra. So yeah, basically speccing out builds is really interesting. So yeah, I am really curious to see what Air Riders does to like iterate on this format, because it has been 20 years since this game, therefore this game already wasn't like super well received. Again, I think it's like a 60 or 50 out of 100. It's not very well reviewed, probably because of the lack of content and relatively like basic control scheme. But there is a lot of room to improve, I think, so I'm excited about that aspect. We're gonna keep going with the stream a little bit longer, but the ad break is coming up very soon, so I'm gonna run ads. And we shall resume with Kirby Air Ride momentarily. And with that, the ads should be done, so we're just gonna hop back into the game, because I don't know how long the stream is going to actually be. So I kinda wanna move on. This game, like, I think other Sakurai games do this too. It jumps like straight into like a demo reel very quickly if you wait on the title screen, which to me is a little bit annoying if I don't want to see the demo reel. It's kinda getting everything aligned. Alright, let's hop back in. We went over these two modes, so I guess we'll try out Stadium for a bit, actually. I wanna show all these off. There are basically a ton of different modes here. However, when playing them like straight up like this, you actually are missing out a little bit from the perspective of you don't actually have upgrades. So the actual best way to do the challenges on each of the minigames is like through the actual main mode itself, because you might not have enough upgrades to actually beat the clear times or meet certain objectives. Like, these modes are going to be inherently harder because you don't have like a powered up air ride machine. Which is kind of a weird oversight in my opinion, that there's no way to like tweak stats, I guess, but it would also be a little bit broken otherwise. So we have all the drag race modes, we'll go through all these. In terms of other requests I would have for Air Riders, I kind of hope it is a little bit open world but sandboxy. What I kind of want is like a mission system where the open world actually has like... I had a feeling it was gonna go in that direction, but yeah, basically having like actual missions and like NPCs around the open world, making it a little bit more lived in. However, when I start describing it that way, then it's like, that's just Mario Kart World at a point. So, I don't know how they're gonna differentiate. Cassette Trial is a core essential to the Kirby... Oh wow, that was a new record, that was not on purpose. An essential part of the Kirby Air Ride experience. Listen, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm just excited to see more. Again, they didn't tell me enough to be excited, if I'm being real. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to them eventually showing more of Kirby Air Riders. Listen to my story? That's the wrong game. That's Final Fantasy... We're not in Final Fantasy X yet. Hi, welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. We're just messing around in Kirby Air Ride for a little bit longer, and then we'll probably... How about not yet? Yeah, I am planning to play FF10. Needless to say, that is a game that is a core part of my life. No one ever would be able to guess that, I'm sure. The funny part is my name isn't even entirely derived from Yuna. My name is partly derived from a K-pop artist. I've told the story before, and I'm sure it'll come up again. Yeah, but that... I don't even know how to respond to that. I feel like I'm just kind of stun-locked at the moment. Wait, actually? Yeah, because I had such a huge Girls' Generation phase, I was trying to figure out Korean names to go with as a username. And then we remembered one of the members of Girls' Generation was named Yuna. Spelled Y-O-O-N-A, but pronounced Yuna. So it occurred to me I could go for the double meaning of like a Korean name, but also tied to a character of significance to me. Yeah, hell yeah. So that's some early lore, because we'll probably talk about it again in the Final Fantasy X playthrough, because I'll be like a 30-hour playthrough. I'll have a lot to talk about, probably. This game is so short that this is actually pretty, like, packed playthrough in terms of, like, lore drops and just talking, because it's like, there's not a lot of time to talk. This is gonna be a one-stream game, obviously. I'm not gonna come back to this. This is Waka, he's got my back. He may be racist, but he's great at sports. Great. That's just sports in general, I think. High jump time. So yeah, that's just athletes in general, I think. But, whenever we get to Final Fantasy X, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how to format that. I don't know if I'll do Expert Sphere Grid or default for the sake of my sanity and not overthinking everything. Why did I go farther that time? I didn't do anything different. Expert Grid is weird. I mean, it makes sense. You can just kind of spec out everybody. Thank you for the hydration check. I will take care of that momentarily. Also, thank you for the headpads. Scooter was your fave? Hell yeah. I love how fast it turns. Actually, that wouldn't have been bad for this mode, now that I think about it. Because you have to defeat, like, a lot of enemies. These are some of the hardest challenges from what I recall. Trying to get enough enemies to actually unlock the next stage is not easy. The other thing I was thinking about with, like, my name is... again, I just wanted something Korean related. Because it's like, that's where I'm from. And a lot of my identity has kind of been separated from that. So I kind of wanted to slowly work it back into my identity. If that makes any sense now that I'm trying to vocalize this thought. And like around the time of me coming out, I started, is there a Korean Spider-Man? Because I know there's the Japanese Spider-Man, the Emissary of Death or whatever. But, wow, that completely threw off my train of thought, actually. I mean, wouldn't that just be Silk at that point? Because if you have a Korean Spider-Man, that'd just be Silk. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, avatar colors, okay, of the Philippine flag colors. Hell yeah, that's cute. I have trans colors because I'm subtle. Yeah, Sandy Moon is Korean. That's why I brought up Silk. What else was I gonna say? Around the time I was having a big gender crisis was when I kind of got back into K-pop, so for full story, I'm definitely a second-gen girly, which is probably why I got back into Idol. Because they always are like, wow, they have a second-gen sound to them. But I really like Girls' Generation. I, weirdly enough, wasn't super into to anyone, which is like a hot take, because all my friends at the time were really into to anyone. But I kind of wasn't. I like Girls' Generation. I like Genie. Fun story, in League of Legends, Ari has a costume based on the military uniform used in the music video for Genie, Tell Me Your Wish. And her emotes for that are straight up parts of the dance from the chorus of that song. And I legitimately almost played League of Legends just because of that. The irony is Ari in KDA is voiced by Myeon, who is not actually my bias in Idol. Which is very ironic, yeah. I have an affinity for Korean superheroes because I like Korean characters in media. It's like, why do I play Luna Snow as much as I do? Ow, I died already. Also, just, I like healers. I've always been a healer main in like every MOBA style game. I played Mercy in Overwatch, for example. That was fun. I say very sarcastically. I'm getting obliterated. So yeah, like Cindy Moon is one that I wish had better writers, because everything I hear about that character is like done dirty. Luna Snow also has like zero personality, it feels like, in the comics, and most of her lore is in Rivals, because there's just not much to work with. I actually have never played TF2. But like, I think about like a joke about like Luna Snow being like an industry plant character, and like I can't even quite argue with that, because it's like they literally just created characters to put into like a Korean mobile game. What if we played League? Oh no, are you gonna rope me into League? The problem is I don't want to spend $10 for the Popstar outfit. It's like, that's my condition for playing League, is I want to have the Popstar outfit. And not the KDA one, but the Girls' Generation one. But yeah, the other funny part is, Yuna wasn't even my bias in Girls' Generation. My bias is actually Taeyeon. This probably sounds like alien gibberish to anyone other than Aiden. Jeff the Land Shark is more so the plant. Yeah, that's also fair. It's also weird that, like, I shouldn't be getting into a Marvel Rivals rant while playing Kirby Air Ride and trying to give my backstory. But yeah, basically Korean characters I kind of have an affinity towards in Western media. For example, along with Cindy Moon and Luna Snow, there's another member of the Agents of Atlas named White Fox, who is a Kumiho. So it's like, I guess if she ever gets added to Rivals, which is, I think, actually rumored at the moment, hey, I guess I'm switching mains, because I guess I'm legally obligated to play this character. I think I just blew myself up there. Which, neat. This is going great so far. I'm so good at Kirby Air Ride. There was in the current event thingy they're doing, there's something about, like, I guess spoilers if you haven't completed the last page of the current event, but there's some mention about the next antagonist for the season after. But I'm not gonna go into it. And it's interesting, actually, but again, not gonna elaborate because I don't know how far everyone's gotten in that event. Now you wanna know? Basically, I guess if you care about Marvel Rivals, spoilers through the lore, mute for the next like 5 seconds, but I think they mentioned Null in one of the lore entries for the current event going on. So the speculation is like going back to Clintar or something. They're doing something Venom related. That was not 5 seconds. But, yeah. There's also some line in the, like, at the very end of the current description about, like, that's making people think we might be getting, like, a couple of characters because of, like, mentioning, like, some kind of, like, really powerful force needing to fight this, so people are kind of like Jean Grey might make sense, but who knows. I definitely wasn't expecting certain characters when they were added. But the other thing is, with my, like, penchant for liking Korean characters in media is, I also don't like D.Va in Overwatch. I tried to play as D.Va. I did not get very far with her. I'm not really cut out to be a tank. I like Darissa though. But the other thing is, I really didn't enjoy playing as a lot of characters in Overwatch towards the end, because I just don't have good memories of Overwatch, if I'm being real. This is a lot happening while also trying to talk about my long and intricate backstory. I say slightly facetiously. But basically, I tried to get into Overwatch because of an ex. And so I don't really have the best feelings about Overwatch, and I actually think that bleeds into Rivals a bit. Like, I don't think I like Rivals, like, Overwatch-style games even because of that. It's not like a huge deal. I still play Rivals because a lot of friends play it, but... The other thing I'm mad about, and I'm gonna talk about Fortnite, because of course I'm gonna talk about Fortnite, briefly. As much as I'm mad about all the AI stuff and like the rumored festival artist being a transphobe for the next season, I'm not happy about that. And I'm like mad over the like they added a bunch of K-pop and they didn't add anything Idol. And my petty ass is over here like, where the hell is Idol? Why is there not a single Idol song in Fortnite? It's like Tomboys and Emote. That's a frame 1. I'm buying that off the shop. I have V-Bucks saved up. I wouldn't have to pay real money. Yeah, that's just cute in general. Yeah, basically in like was Forever 1 2021 and 2022? I actually don't know if you would know that, Aiden. But like the girls' generation come back. Why did I say Forever 21? I meant Forever 1. Yeah, I forget when that was, but that was kind of when I was getting back into K-pop a bit, because obviously I like Girls' Generation, so them doing a like one-off comeback was like a big deal to me. And I think everything just kind of lined up where it's like, okay, I'm dying. Cool. What else was I gonna say? So yeah, that's kind of when I was starting to get back into K-pop, and also that's, I think, part of the reason why the name Yuna as a Korean name is also like fresh on my mind, because of Girls' Generation coming back. Again, the irony of Taeyeon being my bias, but I just saw the name Yuna and I'm like, wait a minute, that has a double meaning to it, so let's go with Yuna. Then my like personal name, because I have like a username and a personal name that are different, which I'm not going to say out loud, though I think everybody watching the stream right now probably already knows it, but I don't want to out myself like that. That was kind of like me trying to find something close, something that could easily translate to an Anglified name, weirdly enough, because I kind of want a name that sounds Korean, but could also be written like in an American way. I don't know if that's weird. But like, you know, just so like in an online setting, if I'm like applying to a job or something, that like it won't immediately be assumed to be an Asian name because I'm spelling it like in a very Anglified way. It's also not pronounced exactly the same, but if anyone says the Korean pronunciation or the English pronunciation, I will not be, you know, upset either way. :3, I see. But the other thing is, with K-pop is, I always had like a tangential knowledge of Idol. So the TLDR is, I really liked a group called Kepler. The main like the leader, quote unquote, because like the whole Girls Planet 999 thing, it's a whole thing. But she was in another group called CLC, but also was in a Korean sitcom called So Not Worth It, in like 2 episodes as like the sister of one of the main characters. The interesting thing is the lead actress in this one of the lead actresses, not the lead, but one of the lead actresses in this series was Minnie from Idol. So I was already familiar with her to some degree, even before like really getting into Idol in the last like 3 weeks. Oh my god, it hasn't been that long. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I watched it just because I want to see Che Yujin in the series. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm invested in the story. So then I would just watch the whole thing. So that's how I kind of knew about Minnie to begin with. And so, like, when I was getting into Idol, I immediately gravitated towards Minnie, because I was familiar with her. I say as I immediately confused her for Oogie because I just saw the blonde hair and I'm like, which one is Minnie? I don't know. And then it's like, oh yeah, this like purple hair emo look. It's like, yeah, I can't tell which one is which here. Now I can tell them apart. I was also having trouble telling, I think Mion and Shua apart at first, but I think I've got a handle on it now. Again, this was a huge tangent while fighting King Dedede. So yeah, that's been my current hyperfixation, is idle. It's been interesting. There's a lot of content to catch up on, but I've been having a good time doing so. I combined good and lore, so I misread that as gore somehow, and I was like, what? Huh? But it's like, okay, that makes sense. Which just makes me think of the meme of, oh, that's gore, my comfort character, which has been something I keep saying in like just random circumstances, like, oh, that's gore, my comfort character. What else is there to talk about? This would be a lot easier if I was actually upgraded, but I'm not, so I'm gonna get my ass handed to me. Or we'll time over, that's the other option. The other thing worth mentioning though about this is you can actually set which mode you want to appear at the end. That's core of the local trot population. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to beat Dedede like this with no upgrades. But yeah, you can actually set specific events. So if you want to get a good shot at King Dedede with like a fully upgraded Air Ride machine, and you can do that. So maybe we'll do that actually. We'll go Blue Kirby again. But yeah, this will probably be a 2-hour stream or so, maybe shorter actually. But either way, I do want to play a little bit more Sage Hall because I do love this mode. It wouldn't be a Kirby Air Ride stream without mostly devolving into Sage Trial. And also I saw Zon's comment earlier about like wanting to play Sage Trial. It's like, yeah, at some point I feel like we're gonna just have to get a Parsec group going for Kirby Air Ride. What else was I going to say? Yeah, so Not Worth It's an interesting sitcom. There were always talks about like doing another season, but I don't think it ever went anywhere. Which is a shame, because it was kind of unresolved, but it was alright. It'd be interesting watching it again now, because now that I know more about Minnie. It'd be interesting to see how we'd feel about it. Because it's been a hot minute since I've actually watched it, like 2022 I think is when it came out. Ow. Sure do. Wait, what's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure I follow. I forgot what I said that would prompt such a statement. Now I'm concerned. And I have a feeling I'm going to be hit by an oh you know. Aha, okay. Also I set it to Dedede, right? So... I actually don't remember what mode I selected. Well, okay, a smile mode she said, at least not an oh you know, so I was wrong with my assumption. But yeah, I guess some other lore about me is, we'll talk about this during a future playthrough, but I had really bad breathing problems as a kid. They were worse than they are now, and they're also not good now, in all honesty. But this is why I'm such a gamer, to be honest, is because I just was sick as a kid all the time, so I just couldn't, like, go outside, because if you live in, like... I don't know if I want to give away too much about myself, but I can say, like, Central Valley, California, it's like, if you know, you know, but, like, air quality is not great there, so me having respiratory issues in a part of the country that has really bad air quality was not fun. So yeah, I was just kind of sick all the time as a kid. I was always having, like, asthma attacks and stuff. So why I have such a bond of the character Vivian in Thousand Year Door is because I remember like getting hit in the head with a soccer ball and having a panic attack, and then coming home and playing Thousand Year Door and feeling better. So as much as everyone like hates Chapter 4 because it's tedious backtracking for 2 hours, I still like that chapter because I like Vivian. And it's like, oh yeah, she's trans. It's like, okay, I definitely like Vivian. It's like, you know, you don't have to keep selling me on this character game. Yeah. So again, this story will come up in like 3 months whenever I do Thousand Year Door and get that far into the game. Yeah. Since I'm dropping all this lore, I figure I might as well talk about it now. I'm trying to think of anything else of interest about me. But yeah, I just spent a crap ton of time playing video games all the time, because I was just never in a good, like, physical state for it. Like, I kind of wonder if that's part of the reason I'm such a, like, a girl twink now. It's just because of how unhealthy I was. Like, I always struggled to put on weight as a kid. I remember it was, like, a big deal when I actually got to, like, 100 pounds when I was like 13 or 14 or something, because I was so skinny for like the entirety of my life up to that point, and I still am pretty skinny for my, like, I'm not at BMI by any stretch. But yeah, that's why I have so much experience with games, because I just didn't have anything better to do. Because it's like, what am I gonna do, jog and like smog? The rhyme wasn't intentional, but I started thinking about it. It's like, wait, we can rhyme this. This has significantly less health than the other, which might backfire for fighting deity now that I think about it. But we do not have enough time to swap. The other thing is, with K-pop, my friends at the time that got me into K-pop also were really into Vocaloid, so that's how I got into Vocaloid too. So, fun story, they had really interesting recommendations for me. The first songs they recommended for me, if I recall correctly, were Circus Monster and Fear Garden. If you know anything about Vocaloid, you'll probably be like, oh god, why those two songs? And that's a very good question I do not have an answer to. So that actually kind of turned me off of Vocaloid at first, because it's like, are all Vocaloid songs just effed up? And frankly, a lot of them are. But there was the feeling of like, yeah, like how dark are Vocaloid songs? Like, is this normal? So I ended up getting into Vocaloid on my own. I think the one I fell in love with was Melt, which is like the most like basic take, I think. Like, that should not be overly shocking that like, oh, Melt is what actually got me into Vocaloid. Also like Melancholy a lot by Rin. Tell Your World is good, but I tried to extreme perfect it in Project Diva to the point where I'm now sick of the song, unfortunately, as much as I still do love the song. Butterfly on Your Right Shoulder is very good. I like Rin and Len. They're probably my favorites overall. Mika's fine, but like, I'm partial to Rin. Aww. I say immediately after like talking about being burnt out on that song. Yeah, crush on Lynn. That somehow doesn't surprise me. I'm gonna be real. I don't know how to describe why that's not a surprise to me. Well, that's a good start. Why? That's a good question I don't have an answer to. Like, I don't know, you just seem like someone who can have a crush on on Len. I think as a teen I had a crush on Rin. Now I still like Rin's voice because nostalgia, but aesthetically I really like Luca. Which should also not be a surprise, to be real. Why does all this track? Oh, you know. Actually don't know. I don't know why I keep saying, oh, you know. You're a Kaito girly, I actually can't say that tracks. I don't feel like that tracks for you, not gonna lie. In terms of like a guessable thing on my part. And I don't know why or how to explain that again. Yeah, Final Fantasy X is on the list to go back to that topic. But the other fun tidbit about myself is Final Fantasy X isn't even my favorite Final Fantasy, that's 9. I love Final Fantasy IX, it is phenomenal. I still need to play 5 and 8 though. I almost streamed Final Fantasy V today because 4-Job Fiesta is going on. But I'm a little bit hesitant to play do a 4-Job Fiesta on the first playthrough. Like arbitrarily limiting what characters I can use, or like what jobs I can use sounds like hell on the first playthrough if I roll a bad roll. So I opted out of that, but I might do a casual playthrough this year, and then next year try to do a Fiesta run. Yeah, I really do like Final Fantasy IX. I will not spoil it, but the ending makes me sob every time. For both games, actually. To some extent. I actually didn't cry. I recently saw a playthrough of Final Fantasy X and I actually didn't cry, and it surprised me. Because I usually do cry at that ending. But yeah, I really do enjoy Final Fantasy 9, 10. Other than that, 6 is significant to me because I got my wisdom teeth out, and then, like, I played Final Fantasy 6 as, like, a get well present. And I think Mario RPG also, I may be misremembering. Oh yeah, by the way, Mario RPG Remake runs great on Switch too. It ran at like a really choppy frame rate on Switch 1. But it runs like flawlessly on Switch 2, which is nice. So if I ever do a replay of it, I will be definitely doing the remake, not the SNES version. Luminary of the Stars. What is that a reference to, Zon? I feel like you're being coy right now, but I can't tell. Actually, also Aiden, have you seen So Not Worth It? Now that I'm thinking about it, because you seem to have recognized it, but I don't know if you've seen it yourself. Haven't watched it. I don't know if I can recommend it, is the weird part. It's kinda like very like cheesy sitcom energy to the point where it's like, I don't know how fun it would be to actually watch other than to just enjoy Minnie being in this series, to be real. Yeah, I have a feeling. And she's actually really good in it, from what I recall, but again, it's been a bit. Cheesy sitcom can be fun, yeah, it can. What else? The other interesting bit of lore about myself is I've been associated with Foxes for a really long time. We're coming up on a decade of me being Fox Core, apparently. The funny part is I don't even know what caused it. Like, I just got associated with Vulpix eventually, and it's like, oh, well, you're the Vulpix girl now. Or, not girl, because I was not out of the closet by then, but you know what I mean. So when I came out and decided I wanted to do... But also, by the way, I actually, did pick a Snow Fox VTuber for the reason of Vulpix being... You know, being Candace of Vulpix for so long. Hi pal, Sid, welcome on in. Yeah, we're playing a little bit of Air Ride to reminisce about myself a little bit. I'm trying to beat King D. That's the goal for the rest of the stream, is to try to defeat King D. But it's not going great so far. Even like leveled up, I'm getting my ass kicked. So yeah, I've actually been planning to do streaming content for a really long time, like straight up. I've had an idea for this model for like ages. Not even kidding. Superstar Warrior. I still don't know what Sun was meaning by Luminary of the Stars, to be honest. The other interesting thing about me in this regard is, specifically originally, my original concept was to be specifically a kitsune, but then, because, you know, my big weeb phase, which is a whole other story, by the way, I can talk about that too, actually, since we have an opportunity. So I got into anime, I think around 2008, 2009, because of Pokemon. I really got into Pokemon hardcore after playing Melee. So I started with Diamond and Pearl, we'll get to that later. But I got so hooked on Pokemon, hardcore, to the point where the most absurd part of this to me is I played the game Hi Hi Puffy Ami Yumi Kaznapped just because Puffy Ami Yumi did the Japanese ending song for the Lucario movie. I'm not even kidding. I bought it the same day as Sonic and the Black Knight in 2009, like straight up. I remember this. I was at a GameStop in like Bellevue, Washington. Like, this is such a weird core memory. So because I got so hardcore into Pokemon, and the anime especially, I really got into anime hardcore. So for example, the funny part, Aiden, is I've never even seen the show. I've never watched an episode. Hi, see, welcome on in. Ah, that's too fast. But yeah. I got into Fruits Basket really early on, which is why, like, whenever you ask me who's my favorite voice actress, Laura Bailey is the actress I will always say for who's my favorite voice actor, because of Tori Honda. I think because she's in so many like Funimation dubs of that era, I also got into FMA around the same time, which is a whole other story. So Fullmetal Alchemist was interesting because I tried to get into it, immediately saw Gore, my comfort character, shall we say, and then stopped watching because, like, oh my god, the characters actually do, like, in a gory fashion, lose their limbs in the first episode. So that freaked me out as like a 13-year-old or 14-year-old. So again, I've never been great with gore. I say as someone who likes Resident Evil. But I eventually gave it another shot, really enjoyed it. I think I started with 2003 and eventually did Brotherhood. I think I did the weird back and forth thing where I think I might have watched part of the original and then finished with Brotherhood, or I don't remember if that's actually what I did or not. Either way, I watched both. The group that did the fourth ending of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, named Scandal. The song's called Shinkan Sentimental. That's my favorite band to this day. They're also well known for the song Shoujo S from Bleach. Those are probably their two best known songs, but I've also been continuing to follow them to this day. Fun story, there was a whole thing where they left their record label, it's like, I think Sony, and went to like I think their own label actually recently, within like Universal or something. But either way, that caused all their music to be delisted from iTunes, which actually meant I obviously couldn't buy any releases after a certain point. So around like early lockdown, I discovered, oh wait, all the music is back online. I can actually listen to it again and go through a huge Scandal hyperfixation. And so this is the really funny part. Two of the members actually, like, the origins of the band Scandal is they started out at a music and dance school, and actually I think were meant to be dancers originally, but ended up making a rock band together. So there's a video of two of the members dancing to the song Wadada by Kepler. That's how my K-pop hyperfixation came back. So this literally led me to where I am currently with hyperfixations. Because then that leads to Kepler, that leads to So Not Worth It, which leads to Tomboy at the time. I also would have heard the song Nude at the time, because that was the song they were currently promoting. Or Idol was currently promoting, and in my Kepler era, so... I think I might have heard Queen Card and didn't necessarily vibe with it at the time, so I think that's part of the reason why I didn't delve much deeper into Idol's music at that point. Tomboy Changed Your Life, yeah. It's one of the songs where it's like... Like, I've talked to people who aren't into K-pop and they know that song, basically. Again, that's why I'm like, why the hell isn't Tomboy in Fortnite? As an emote, also. Like, if that's an emote, that'd be great, but that will never happen. Deity's flashing red, which means he's actually low in health. The only problem is I'm botching the last part of this. Like, I have a soft spot for Tomboy because I heard it really early on, and it's also just a very good song, to be real. I'm kind of focusing, actually. One moment. Ow, I died. You also like Tomboy? Or Tomboys, not the song, just in general. You're so real for that. We'll give it a couple more tries. But the song I'm currently hyperfixating on is I Do, which is actually one of the English songs. It's a weird song, because the main rapper slash leader slash producer for the group, Soyeon, is not in charge of the English album at all, to my understanding, like the production side of it, so it doesn't really feel like an Idol song. But I Do is still very good. Now obviously I'm into like the current, most recent EP they did, which the song Girlfriend is very good. Good Thing is, again, very second gen, which I enjoy. I like Chain a lot. Aiden, I know you're probably gonna be smug about that. I'm predicting it now. But I swear it was a coincidence, because I was literally just going through all the tracks and Chain is the one that immediately stood out to me. Yeah, I knew the colon 3C was coming. Let's see, I like 7 Days from the previous full album. I like... Super Lady is also very second gen. It reminds me of The Boys by Girls' Generation. But not... I don't think it quite hits the same note for me. And I'm also not super into The Boys, to be honest. Like, it's not my favorite Girls' Generation song. Even though that was like kind of their breakout here in like the US. I remember seeing a video of them performing it on the David Letterman show, and he looks so confused by what's happening. You were talking about your hyperfixation, well now it's my hyperfixation, so like, thank you, I guess, for that. Because I don't know if I would have gone back into Idol if you weren't like talking about it a bunch before the drop. The other interesting detail about all of this is... In terms of other music I like, I went through a huge Japanese rock phase, which also leads to me having to embarrassingly admit that I liked Sword Art Online around like 2013. So, I actually do really like the music, at least still. It's Yuki Kajira, I think. Kajira, who also does the soundtrack for Madoka Magica. So like the music's great, and also the vocal themes are usually pretty good for Sword Art Online. So like, for example, Lisa, not to be confused with Blackpink Lisa, Japanese singer Lisa, did the first opening Crossing Field. That led me to Angel Beats, because she was the singing voice of Yui in that series. I don't know if that led me to Fate Zero or not. I also really like the group that did the ending songs for Fate Zero, Calafina, but they broke up actually a few years ago. At this point, like 5 or 6 years ago, probably. I don't know if they'll be back for the new Madoka movie, but it won't be the same if they're not. I think a couple of them might have been confirmed, but I don't know if the whole group is back for Valpurgis Night, or however it's pronounced. I am not an expert on German. I'm also really into Madoka Magica. That was definitely one of those anime that, like, I don't want to say it changed my life, because that sounds very hyperbolic, but I think it kind of did in a way. There's, like, another anime that Zon's trying to get me into, and I really want to watch it, but I think it would also break me, because just thinking about the ending broke me. But I almost think I want to watch it at some point. It's weird, because it's like trying to figure out the best frame of mind to watch this anime. Angel Beats was really good. I have a hot take. Do you want my hot take? This is a stupid take, and it actually spoils 2 different shows, so I don't know if I should give this take or not. Angel Beats is one of them, the other is a Western show, or like an American show. So, will we... Okay, we got the Hydra. What else? Shit, this is gonna be awful for fighting D&D actually, because we can barely move. What was I thinking? So, my hot take is... Are you familiar with Doctor Who? I have 2 takes that go together. My one take is... the episode Heaven Sent of Doctor Who, and yeah, Heaven Sent specifically, is Madoka Magica for British people. And I don't know how to elaborate beyond that, and I don't know if that does anything to spoil it either. Oh my god, I just realized that health was off the screen. And we're gonna live. I don't think we'll actually beat Deity, because we can barely move. But hey, we'll at least survive, because we have like infinite health. Watch 9 and 10, hell yeah. I like the 12th Doctor, surprisingly. But on a related note, my other hot take is that Angel Beats, or like, The Good Place is Angel Beats for like, American people. I don't know if that makes any sense or not as a take. Like, that might be the most nonsensical thing I've ever said for all I know. And I've said some real nonsense, I know. I mean, like, the afterlife theming and everything, it's just like, it reminds... Like, watching The Good Place, it just reminded me of Angel Beats for some reason. Again, I might just be talking on my ass for all I know. Wow, we're actually dying. I'm dying, Squirtle. Yeah, I got nothing to work with here. That sucked. We were really close. He was, like, smoking, too. When, like, you can see little puffs of smoke coming off of them, they're really close to being defeated. So I'm actually kind of bummed out about that. We're gonna go 2 hours. I think. So we're gonna try a couple more times at this. Probably got 2 more runs in me. You love The Good Place? Hell yeah. I really enjoyed The Good Place. It also was something that kind of broke me, but in a way that I think I needed, weirdly enough. But yeah, the anime Son is recommending to me is Girls Last Tour, is that the name of it? But it's like, I look up the ending because she's like, I think it might be kind of heavy for you, so I look up the ending, it's like, and I just cried for like 2 hours after that, like just reading about the ending. Which is like, I don't know if I should watch it, but it definitely is something that hits very close to a visceral fear of existential fear of mine, which is like, I don't know if that makes it something I should watch or not. Because on one way, maybe it would be helpful to see. But weirdly enough, I'm actually in a better place than I was like a couple weeks ago. Like, I feel like I'm a lot happier at the moment than I've been in a long time. Which is actually obviously a very nice feeling. So yeah, maybe I would be in a better place to actually handle it now. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. It's been an interesting 7 days. Shall we say. If you know, you know. And yeah, I've been really contemplating trying to do more stuff with friends, try to figure out stuff to do with friends. In general, like... Again, there was a suggestion of a race between me and Zon on a game, and we never actually got around to doing it. So it's like, at some point I need to talk to her about, like, this proposed race. Because it could be very funny, and very cursed. If we end up doing this. Some people know what the race in question is, but it shall remain a secret, as far as I'm concerned, because I think it'll be funnier that way. To just be coy about it. Wow, they just aren't giving us the Dragoon this time. This is really annoying, because I like the Dragoon a lot more. It'd be awful for fighting Deity, though, because it goes so goddamn fast. It'd be a horrible mistake to pick up the Dragoon. So yeah, in terms of other anime I really like, I mean, I did the debut thing a few months ago. So yeah, the list was... Fruits Basket, Madoka Magica, Angel Beats I think was on there, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood for sure. Sailor Moon, obviously. That's my, you know, magical girl thing that's been, like, phase that kind of has never gone away. Sometimes I realize, like, how much of a magical girl phase I'm still in. To go full circle to what was previously being discussed, hey, watch the music video for Good Thing by Idol, and you'll know what I'm talking about when I say, wow, my magical girl phase is still ongoing. Never left. There's Dynablade. If you can actually hit Dynablade in the head, you can actually get a lot of items from her. You'd be down to do a thing? Hell yeah. I just need to figure out what, basically. Oh, that was bad. Okay, abandon ship on that. Huh. I like how the Hydra parts don't respawn, they're just sitting around, because, like, I don't want to pick them up. I'm gonna try one more time to aim for the head. Damn, we have a lot of wing stat, apparently. There we go. Hell yeah. She can take multiple hits, though. I'm not gonna go too ham with that. But yeah, it is funny to me in hindsight that, you know, my bias in Idol did not end up being Mion. Because, again, you'd think, you know, voicing Ari, and again, the reason I almost considered getting into League at all, I would like Mion. As that would just immediately carry a bias going in, and yet I did not immediately gravitate towards Mion. I like Mion, but not, like, top tier, if that makes sense. Damn. We have so much turning, it's fine, but... Shit, okay. Well, we broke even there. Nyan is also very good, yeah. It's like, the problem is I don't know how to go and, like, rank my thoughts on them beyond just my bias. Because it's like my bias and then the rest, and it feels like a cop-out a little bit, but it's true. I don't think I have strong opinions, like, to that degree on the others. If that makes sense. God damn, okay, D&D. You have no chill today. Alright, we'll give it one more try. I'm gonna snooze ads preemptively, because we definitely need an extra, like, few minutes. Because they all have their moments, basically. Yeah, it's like, I have my bias and then just the rest, I think. Weirdly enough, I actually had stronger opinions in that way about Kepler, in terms of, like, actually being able to do a proper ranking. But that also had the weird dynamic of with CLC I didn't have rankings because all I knew is I like Eugene the best. And I didn't really know the others very well, to be honest, in terms of like familiarity. In terms of other K-pop groups I've listened to a bit of aespa, not that much. I've heard some of LE SSERAFIM, partly because of all the Overwatch crossovers they've done. Let's see. I've heard BTS because everyone's heard BTS. I've seen a Samsung commercial in the last, like from circa 2019, you have heard BTS. So, I'm just gonna say it like that. Like, of course I've heard BTS. I have been on the internet, is how I'm gonna describe it. See, that makes me wonder if one friend I know actually has heard BTS, because she does not know music. She didn't know who Taylor Swift was, practically. Like, she couldn't name a single Taylor Swift song. And it's like... Yeah, I wonder if she would actually be aware of BTS at all. This also leads to the funny bit of I got her to react live on someone else's stream to the lyrics of Queen Card by Idol, so that was fun. What else? I guess I heard some of Super Junior, because again, my friends who got me into K-pop really liked Super Junior. Again, I think I've only heard one... Oh shit, items are fake, damn it. I think I've only heard one 2NE1 song, and I wasn't really a fan. It was one of their big hits too, which was unfortunate. I am trying to think. Yeah, they just really don't want to give us the Dragoon today. What else? I feel like that's kind of it. I've heard some ITZY, I guess. Not like a ton, but in passing. Oh, New Jeans! Of course, why did I forget New Jeans? So that goes into a whole other thing, is New Jeans was rumored to be the featured artist 2 seasons ago in Festival. But supposedly Miku was like a last minute switch. I don't know if I entirely believe that, just from the perspective of how much time they were like teasing Miku for a while. Like that would take a lot of dev time to put in the game. But then again, other things do indicate something went wrong, because like Miku's implementation didn't have like a special event to it like a lot of the other featured artists, including Sabrina Carpenter. But like, you know, I was winning either way. We're getting Miku, I'm good. If we're getting New Jeans, I'm still good. Like, I would have been happy with both. Like, straight up. But then, like, there was all the controversy with the record label and their contracts of like, oh, we don't actually have the ability to perform together anymore. So, oops. And that just kind of threw the whole thing out the window. It wasn't a case of, oh, the band broke up or the group broke up. It's like, there were active legal issues because of how they are disbanding this group. And then you have 50-50, which is a whole thing. You feel like you're in the same position as Gwen's stream the other day, where you have no idea what's being talked about and you're just politely nodding along anyway? I literally know that Aiden is the only person who understands what I'm saying. Like, I kind of feel like, from what I understand, like, I think only Aiden would actually have any clue of what I'm talking about. So yeah, don't worry about it. I'm just ranting about K-pop at this point. You should probably change the subject, to be fair, because it is very, like, niche still. So how about that? I'm trying to think of other topics. Oh yeah, Resident Evil 9, I guess. I'm interested in it, but it's apparently very scary. But apparently they have confirmed third-person and first-person modes as an option, but with one mode being recommended being first-person. So, yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be too scary for me, so I'm not really excited for RE9, unfortunately. The problem is, with this DZ fight, I've gotten close so many times, I'm going into, like, obsessive mode of, like, one more try, come on, one more try, and we're gonna be here all day. If I keep doing that one more try thing. Yeah, I'm in focus mode now. Actually, fire might not be bad for this. Can land my shots properly. Again, with your action button and accelerate being, or like, brake being the same, it can be a little awkward to use certain attacks. God damn it. Yeah, that sucks, because there aren't even any power-ups on the field anymore. We could have had it there if I had grabbed sleep when I did, damn it. Just gotta go for it. Nope, that was not enough. Cool. Hey, we lived. That was better than last time, at least. I'm almost tempted to try it again. I don't know, I just worry I'm gonna be here all day, because I'm like, one more try. I'm entering a vicious cycle of one more try. So I'm like, should I just call it here? We have hit 2 hours of stream time. So we could stop here. Or we can go to an ad break and keep trying. That's the other option. But again, there is the fear of me just being here till the end of time if I decide to keep going with this. Yeah, screw it. One more try. We're gonna run the ads and then I'll refresh and try again. I say one more try, it'll probably be more than one more try if we're going to ad break. Well, that was very good timing for that song to end. I love Mechanical Rhythm. Fun thing, I really like Mechanical Rhythm. I really like Marionette from Guilty Gear Xrd, and I think it's because the rhythm of the song, Rhythm, reminds me a lot of Mechanical Rhythm. Like, just parts of Marionette remind me so much of Mechanical Rhythm, and I think that's part of the reason I really vibe with that. My hot take is Alpha consistently has, like, banger themes in every Guilty Gear. And Dizzy, but also, I'm extraordinarily biased towards Dizzy. I'm not gonna be real. I'm gonna be real, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not. Trying to get into a decent position here. Alrighty, let's give this one more try. And by one more, I mean probably more than one more. I'm gonna change the timer to 7 minutes to give me more time to collect stuff. Yep, L felt, yeah. Just like me for real. Lock-in time! I really like Guilty Gear. I can also just ramble about Guilty Gear if I want to talk about a different hyperfixation, or I can talk about Xenoblade if I want to talk about an even different hyperfixation. But yeah, if you were to ask me right now, what are my top hyperfixations, it would be Idol, if we're talking about music. And I also am really into Guilty Gear still, and I'm also still really into like Xenoblade. Again, Xenoblade 3 is like one of my favorite games ever. I can't wait to play it on stream for Fox Girls Favorites in the year 2029. Because why are my favorite games mostly RPGs past like the year 2008? I still don't know what the hell I'm doing with Persona 4. The remake might be out by the time I get to Persona 4 on stream. And also, the game has so much weird stuff in it that I'm not sure if I'd even want to do it. Why is everyone saying help, help? This isn't Luigi's Mansion 2. I'm saying that, and I'm like, wait a minute, but Luigi's Mansion though. And it's like, no, we can't keep adding to the list. The list is too long as is. You need to stop. But yeah, I used to have a big Taylor Swift phase in like high school through college. I kind of fell out of that recently. I still listen to her music, but I also just kind of don't approve a lot of her choices in recent times, and I will leave it at that. Basically relationship choices on her part, and also some career choices I do not like. But again, I'll still listen to her music from time to time, but definitely not a hyperfixation at this point. Scandal, the Japanese band, still one. I need to cough, one sec. So yeah, my breathing is still not the best. I still have, like, some respiratory issues, like really bad coughing attacks from time to time. So that's fun. But anyway, I was talking about hyperfixations. Xenoblade isn't as active of a hyperfixation at the moment, because there hasn't been anything recent except X. X's remake, which is like, I haven't played it yet. I'm kind of holding out hope that maybe there'll be a 60 FPS update, because one was data mined. Like early workings of a 60 FPS mode were data mined. The other hope I kind of have is because Splatoon just got an update, so maybe like every Thursday they'll like have another Switch 2 upgrade ready to go. But that's like expecting too much from Nintendo, I'll be fully honest. Ow. I'm just getting bullied. I also didn't really talk about this, is that you can just kind of fly around a bit. They do cap you at like 3 or 4 floats. So it's not as freeform as like an actual Kirby game, though Forgotten Land also caps your flight. Yeah, even if I wasn't already like joking about how I will probably do more than just one more run, this is definitely a mulligan. This run sucks. This is going real bad. I'm getting the Swerve Star just because I need anything. This one can't turn. 64 does too. Yeah. Hi, I am regretting the choice to do one more run. I am perishing over here. Oh my god. Also, just the gameplay is not going well. Oh my god, I'm getting bodied. Yeah, for some reason my respiratory system is not happy with me today. And I'm not happy about that, to be honest. It happens. I don't want to just shrug it off by saying it happens, but you know, to some extent I'm kind of just used to it. On another extent, I'm also just happy it doesn't cause more problems, I guess, because like, with how bad my breathing is sometimes, it's almost a miracle that my ability to stream isn't more compromised than it already is. But you know I've got it bad right now because I've been considering, this is a different topic by the way, you know I've got this hyperfixation bad because I'm like, what if I try to learn Korean? Like, to be fair, I do have legitimate reasons to potentially want to go to Korea at some point. Not anytime soon for obvious reasons, but eventually, like, I would like to go to Korea at some point in my life. That puts an idea in my head and I don't want to throw it out there too prematurely, so I don't know if I should just keep it to myself or not. But like, I don't know, I just had kind of the random thought about like trying to get like a group together, like a group of like close friends, kinda, to like all go to Korea together. Because, you know, otherwise I'll be in a foreign country by myself and that would be a little scary. But again, just kind of like a hypothetical on my part. This is gonna suck. I don't like the Slick Star, because you have like no traction. Permanent ice physics the vehicle. No, this isn't the Slick Star, that's the Slick Star, the pink one. This is the Turbo Star. This one also plays like ass. Could be great. Group trip circle concept, yeah. What the hell was that? Why was the Hydra piece under a box? Like, it was just spawned, and then another box spawned on top of it. Yeah, this is gonna go bad. We're gonna die, like, immediately. Spend a night in Korea because you messed up your flight? Oh. Yeah, not the best reasons to go to a foreign country. Yeah, at some point I almost would consider it. At one point I actually tried to look into like my birth family, and I kind of got left on red, and then I started thinking, oh wait, South Korea in the current year is not the most progressive place and would probably not be welcoming to me. Therefore, maybe I shouldn't go to South Korea right now. But that is how I discovered some things about myself, and yeah, that was not gonna end well, I could already tell. There was no way that run was gonna be a success with how scuffed their vehicle was. Let's go to like 7 PM my time. So like at least another half hour, at most another half hour, maybe less if we beat DDD by then, or earlier than then. But again, I'm just kind of in a stubborn mode now where it's like, we got close so many times that I want to just see if I can do it. But like, I think part of the reason I was even given up for adoption in the first place is because of like stigma in South Korea over like birth defects and also single parents. Therefore, I was definitely a little bit screwed from the word go. It's got a lot more real than I was meaning it to be. To be honest, I was not expecting to have this deep introspective talk about my life during Kirby Air Ride of all games. But again, this is the whole point of this series, the favorites, because it's kind of me introducing my life in a way through gaming. And again, gaming is such an integral part of my life, it kind of makes sense. So yeah, I have mixed feelings on Korea as a culture in some ways. They have gotten better, admittedly, but there's still a slight bitterness, I guess, because of just how the culture treated me. Before I was even sentient and aware of how the culture was treating me. But again, that's probably a heavier topic than I should be having during Kirby Air Ride of all games. So yeah, in general, I gravitated more towards Japanese culture for the longest time. I think I had like a bit of a resentment towards Korean culture, actually. Which is also part of the reason I didn't get super hardcore into K-pop until much later. Just because, again, how much like I felt personally burned by the society of South Korea. So I just felt like slightly resentful in a way. What else is there to talk about? Another thing I think about a lot is, like what games I actually grew up with and how they kind of just shape me in different ways. And again, part of the point of this whole retrospective series. But like the general idea I've had is to try to play the games relatively in the order I played them. I might make some exceptions later on because I realized a couple games I skipped over, and I might actually go back and want to do like Lego Island 1 because of the recomp. Basically, it was not as far along when I was playing everything out, so I kind of ruled out doing Lego Island, I think. But now that it's like almost done and as close to perfect as you can expect, Lego Island would almost be tempting, but that would literally have to be like the first game if I could go back in time and do everything over again after like the Mario trilogy. I told the story, I think in a call last night, I had like the complete boxed edition of Lego Island in like the fancy box, not just the jewel case version. It came with like a whole like comic and everything. Not a comic, but like a guidebook of sorts. It was really cool, but then my cat threw it up. Well, actually not my cat, but my family's cat threw up on it because she just kind of was like that. She was not always the most healthy girl, unfortunately. Very sweet cat, but she tended to not hang out with me very much. She liked my siblings more. I'm excited for Air Ride 2. I need to know more about Air Ride 2 before I can be excited for it, if that makes sense. Like, this is kind of my way with hype in general. I don't really get excited for games unless I see a lot of gameplay. Even something like DK, which comes out in a month, we have seen so little gameplay of that I don't really care that much about it. It's like, once we know more about the game, I think I'll be more excited for a lot of things. But there's just a lot of secrecy around, like, certain games. Like, we just don't even know, like, core gameplay style of Kirby Air Ride. I assume they're doing a city trial, it's just we don't know. So I don't want to get my hopes up because all we have is like a pre-rendered trailer, which is funny because Sakurai did an entire video complaining about pre-rendered trailers not being a good way of hyping up games. So then he announces Air Ride to a pre-rendered trailer, so it's like, oh, neat. It's like he's aware of it, and yet... And again, I don't think it's 2025, that's my other feeling on it. You know, like, if it was 2025, we would have seen gameplay in the first trailer. I think it's 2026. It's like, I think 2025 is extremely optimistic. And again, Sakurai is such a perfectionist, he'll probably delay it. Like, to be real. And all power-ups are very rare, so it's kind of nice that we've gotten so many, both from that one in the field, and also the UFO. Oh my god, I dropped a lot of stuff there. But it's worth the trade-off in the end. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm almost too fast now. I'm actually worried I'm gonna be uncontrollable. Just like the song in Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is like the only song I really remember liking out of X's soundtrack. I legitimately want to play Xenoblade X again through Definitive, just because I want to know how I feel about it now. Also, I was a total dumbass and did not pay attention to tutorials. Yeah, I feel like Sega's development pipeline is just a little bit different. So, like, Sakurai especially delays games a lot, I feel. To the point where that's why I'm partly not exactly confident in the release date, is specifically because it's a Sakurai game. Oh, there was a Konami event today. Everyone's still kind of waiting on a rumor, and I forgot what rumor it was. I think, like, people keep wanting a new Castlevania, and it still hasn't happened. And, like, one has been rumored forever, but it's like, I don't think that's trustworthy at this point. This is the same person that said, like, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess were going to be on Switch shortly after Skyward Sword, so it's like, I don't know why people trust certain insiders anymore. There's a whole thing with Resident Evil 9 too, where an insider was like, oh, this game takes place in this setting. Wait, they rebooted it, and now it's in this setting. It's like, did the game really get rebooted this many times, or is this, or are they just trying to cover their tracks? Like, I am someone who follows game leaks, because I am nosy. However, I don't really trust them. I'm not gonna believe a leak on face value. Like, I need concrete, like, evidence to be like, or like a trustworthy, really trustworthy source to buy into a leak. I'm not gonna take it on faith. Like, oh, this person on 4chan said a thing. This has to be real, right? Like, why do y'all keep falling for this? This is a very different rant than I was expecting to go on after talking about Idol for like a third of the stream. Actually, Needle's really good, so it's a shame we didn't get that. Oh yeah, they did announce Silent Hill remake. For the Silent Hill remake for the first game, and that's, I guess, cool. I don't care because I'm not strong enough to play a Silent Hill game. It's like, I know my limits. I can barely handle Resident Evil when they go really horror. There's no way in hell I'm gonna enjoy Silent Hill. I think Needle is the meta for the speedrun, so you can do it in like 10 seconds if you time Needles really well. Again, very close, but just not enough time. Damn it. That was a really good setup, we just did not have good power-ups for it, unfortunately. There's also a Metal Gear event tomorrow, right? I think that's what I heard. The hope is a collection, I think. Volume 2 of the Master Collection series, which everyone hopes will have Metal Gear Solid 4, because that one is stuck on the PS4, or PS3. That one actually would take a lot of work, because there's a lot of, like, brand deals in Metal Gear Solid 4. There's, like, a lot of PlayStation stuff, and there's a lot of, like, Apple products. It's like Snake in 2018 or 2014, so using like an original iPod looks really silly now. They'd probably just change it to like some kind of radio or something. Metal Gear Solid stuff was today because they shut off the Bomberman mode. I kind of sworn I read there was also a Metal Gear thing tomorrow. Unless I was confusing it with last year's, that could have been, that people were just talking about it and sharing it as a new thing. Because that happens. Yeah, the multiplayer isn't full Metal Gear Online, which I guess is fine. I don't care about the multiplayer. The reason I hate multiplayer is trophies, because like every game will have achievements tied to multiplayer, and it's like, I will never get these achievements, so I can never 100% this game, and it sucks. But that's just my petty, like, completionist self-talking. Attack. Attack is just cat backwards. It's not very creative. But yeah, I'm not like super into Metal Gear. I enjoy the games I've played. I'm not like super hardcore into them. Again, the fun story I have is that the first Metal Gear I ever played was 4, because that was what was current when I got into it, which of course was because of Brawl. Also because I wasn't like old enough when Brawl had come out, because like 2008, I would have been only 13, so I would have played MGS4 a little bit later. I don't think I was actually 17 at the time, but for an M-rated game, MGS4 is relatively tame, I'd say. And you can also turn blood off, which helps. You know, it's not like Metal Gear Solid 5, which like earns its M rating a lot more, in my opinion. Here we go. A lot of defense, which will come in handy. I could really use some more health, actually, but it's okay. Speed power-ups obviously don't help too much, so I'm not too concerned about that boost down. I'm just kind of like, I don't feel strongly about a lot of games at the moment. Again, my most anticipated game of the year is Mina the Hollower, which seems very promising from the demo. However, most of what I'm looking forward to is indies. Again, it's like this temptation of like, the little, like 20 minutes I played of Date Everything was really interesting. But I'm like, do I keep playing the demo? Because you can play a lot within just the demo. But then I'm also like, what if I just wait for the full game? It's coming out in like a week. Oh, this is bad. We don't want that much top speed, I don't think. Yeah, the idea of Date Everything seems very fascinating. So, despite the silly concept, it at least feels like a dating sim that like respects dating sims as like a genre, or like visual novels as a genre. Because a lot of them just feel like they're kind of deriding the genre in a way that actually bothers me a lot. Because there's like a trope of like, hey, we want to make an April Fool's game, let's just do a dating sim, and it's kind of like, one, played out, and two, it comes off slightly like patronizing to the genre a little bit. Date everything as well, despite the like general like silliness of its concept and trying to be more lighthearted from what I saw of the demo, it at least feels like it has like, I don't know if reverence for the genre makes sense to describe it that way, but also like a ton of like well-known voice actors, which is intriguing. So yeah, definitely interested in that. There's a lot of indie games I saw being played from last year. I talk about this every time, but it's like Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is like a game I really want to play, but I still haven't because it came out at a really busy time, so I never got around to it. But that's by the developer of Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is probably one of my favorite like recent indie games. It's not even that like deep of a game. It's very much like, almost feels like interactive music videos around the topic of like breakup and like healing. But it's really good. I recommend it. It's kind of like Tetris Effect, where it's like the gameplay itself is pretty straightforward, but like the oral experience, spelled A-U-R-A-L, because I'm like, I feel like I need to spell this out loud to know which, so people know which word I'm actually trying to say, is like really good in Sayonara Wild Hearts, and I highly recommend it. Tetris Effect, and also this the Luminous, essentially Tetris Effect, which looks really cool. I'm not into Luminous, but I know a lot of people who are. Yeah, the PlayStation show was actually really good. This is like my favorite PlayStation Direct, and it's not just because ArcSys is doing a game with PlayStation. The weird part is I'm not a fan of Disney at this point, so weirdly enough, I'm just mainly interested because ArcSys is making it, not actually for the Disney part. I say as I keep putting off doing Marvel vs. Capcom Collection for stream, partly just because the recent update broke a bunch of stuff. For example, frame rate issues in MVC1 for some reason. They said they were looking into it last month, and there hasn't been an update since. So yeah, here's hoping they fix it. And yeah, there's specific graphical glitches in both CVS 2 and also MVC2 in both collections, because they're like the same engine. But for the, they just patched something? Oh. Well, I need to look into that, because I guess that must have been very recent. Wow, game, you're not gonna give me a single power-up, thanks. Yeah, again, there's a bit of luck of the draw to this mode, unfortunately, also, because you have to just hope you get a power-up, period. Which is not a guarantee a lot of time. So yeah, I don't think we're being D2D today, I'm gonna be real. I do not think this is in my feature. At least on stream, because I'm also trying to talk about things too. That always makes everything harder. Yeah, if they actually just patch the MVC collection, then maybe we'll do a game clearing at some point. Feels like this would be a good time for it, for obvious reasons. God damn it. The AI is also giving me troubles, because they keep stealing my power-ups, or at least the power-ups they want. I feel like I'm getting clipped from behind, because I'm going so fast. I'm still running into his active hurt box. Which is frustrating, a little bit. Damn it. We'll do one more attempt. For real this time, one more attempt. Because again, we will be here all day if I just obsessively try, over and over again, to do this. Sounds good. I feel like I wanted to say something about Aiden too, or like if that would be of interest to Aiden. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. It's like, I think part of like the thing with K-pop for me is we're in a feedback loop at this point. Where it's like this hyperfixation is partly just because it's basically given us something to like bond over, I guess. So it almost feels like You know, I like K-pop, but it's also just been nice as an opportunity to, you know, make friends, basically. So there's more to it than just, I like the music, because there's almost like a personal component to it. And that's been really interesting. I always bond with people over hyperfixations, it's really interesting. Yeah, friends are nice. To quote the ending of Majora's Mask. Probably shouldn't just be casually pointing out that this is from the end of the game. That's fine. It's a 20-year-old game. I feel like there are some limits in place for me, like Final Fantasy is one because of the remake trilogy. I am a little gun-shy about like just casually spoiling things at FF7, because there is a new way to experience it, so you might actually not know and want to go in unspoiled, essentially, but like I feel like Majora's Mask is a case of like, yeah, that game is so old and the remake is relatively the same. And even the remake is like 10 years old now, it's 2016. So it's like I bond with people over like Guilty Gear a lot, I bond with people over like Xenoblade quite a bit. Some both. Sonic is a big one. I've definitely hit off with friends because of Sonic. Yeah, those are the main ones, I'd say. Some Mario, like, you know, to some extent, but no, like, I almost think the others more so than Mario, despite me growing up with Mario. Zelda's also up there for me personally, but I feel like I don't know that many people who are like super into Zelda. And like when you get to music, I guess even more esoteric, because it's like, yeah, again, my favorite band being the Japanese band Scandal. It's like the amount of people who probably are widely familiar with their like discography is not the biggest number of my friend circle. At least it's never come up as far as I'm aware. They did a Pokemon ending. It was for the Diancie movie. So that's another song they might be known for, but I feel like the ones for Full Metal Alchemist and Bleach are better known. This is actually very similar to the Puffy Yumi story, but I almost bought it. I really wanted a particular Bleach game on DS because Shoujo S was the opening of that game. Like straight up, that's how much of a nerd I am, where it's like if there's just one point of my hyperfixation present, I'll want to like play a whole game for it, and it's like weird. Like, I'm so normal about hyperfixations. This Kirby's having a time. Ow, that backfired. Yeah, the Hi-Hi Puffy Yumi story is very funny. That's almost on the list, but I actually have a different idea of what to do with it. I'm gonna do another shuffler. That's my decision. I'm gonna do a shuffler of like a different era, basically, so like Game Boy Advance and DS childhood games. From like 2001 to 2000, say 2010. So that was kind of like when the DS was winding down, I'd say. It's like Hi-Hi Puffy Yumi Kaznapped, Mario Super Circuit for GBA, just like miscellaneous childhood games. Generally skewing licensed, but not exclusively licensed. Probably a couple of like Star Wars GBA games, Finding Nemo on GBA, and yeah, that's specifically the version I grew up with. I remember playing like a demo of the console version of Finding Nemo. I never actually owned it. What else? Yeah, this is gonna be a ways out though, because again, I'm going relatively in order. So like, if that's like 2010, that's gonna be a bit. If we're in 2004 at the moment. And yeah, the big question, and again, I might ask for feedback on this, is like, should I count DLC separately as a number for the count? Or should I just like include DLC with the original package? Even if it's like a separate story, technically, in the case of Toyna. Also, Guilty Gear is gonna be really weird, because like, how many times have I played Guilty Gear on stream as is? But I'd specifically be playing as Bridget, because of course I would be. Again, this is stuff that's like, why am I thinking about this? I'm not getting to this anytime soon. I still have like Thousand Year Door to go through. Thousand Year Door is going to be the biggest hurdle for me initially, because that is a long game, and I'll be curious to see how I fare with it, because if I don't fare well, I might swap out some of the RPGs on the list. Xenoblade 2 and Xenoblade 3 are staying. That is locked in. Those games are integral to me. I don't know if I'd be like openly trans also if it wasn't for Xenoblade 2, to be perfectly honest. Like, not even kidding. And then Xenoblade 3 definitely was a game that kind of affected my worldview a little bit. But like Persona 5, also, you know, content warning reasons, I'm not gonna elaborate for spoilers, but for content warning reasons, I almost am hesitating to do Persona 5 anyway. As much as I do love the game, the opening of that game is very rough. I think it would hit worse now than it did back in 2017 for me. And with Royal, I kind of skimmed, because I'd already played it, so, or the opening part, so I kind of didn't fully focus on the story, so it didn't hit me as hard. With Royal, again, if I actually had to like fully pay attention to it, I might actually get kind of messed up by Persona 5. Persona 5's opening, because of its themes. If you know, you know. Might as well go for the easy damage. Again, there's just not enough power-ups spawning. It's kind of my biggest issue at the moment. Oh, Madagascar for Game Boy Advance. Whatever the Penguins one was. I forgot the name of it, but there was like a game centered on the penguins of Madagascar, but before the actual show, the penguins of Madagascar. I'm also too fast for my own good here. I'm kind of swerving. Again, we're getting close every time, practically. We had a couple of, like, you know, immediate washout kind of rounds, but we got close a lot, which I'm at least happy about to some degree. Yeah, I don't think we're actually being D&D. Nope. Ow. Wow, we died at the very last second. That's unfortunate. Oh well. Good attempts, nonetheless. Okay, but what if we do one more? I don't have a problem, I swear. Girl, what? What's wrong? I don't see any problems with my work ethic at the moment. Listen, we're getting so close. We're so close to Venom. You know, that's the other funny thing. If I actually did the Star Fox game I have the most emotional attachment to, it'd actually be Star Fox Command. Or Star Fox Assault. Neither of which are like conventional choices. But I started with those two games. Which will probably prompt like at least some reactions of I'm so sorry this was your first Star Fox. When I got into Melee briefly, I didn't really get into Melee to be fair. It mostly just was good because it got me into other games. But at one point I went to like a Best Buy and they had a copy of Pokemon Diamond and a copy of Star Fox Command. It was in a weird bundle that had a bunch of like accessories, including like Nintendo themed headphones. And like, I miss that kind of headphone. They're like the ones that are round, but they have like the little clip that swivels out, and you kind of like pin your ear between like the speaker part and the clip part. Like straight up, I like those kinds of headphones, and they don't like make those as much. Like I've seen some online, and I've thought about picking up some because I actually prefer those. Cost don't make some. We'll look into that, because I actually like this better than traditional earbuds. And over ears also feel really uncomfortable to me. I also have like sensory issues with like things touching my hair, which is also why I don't like over ear of that style. So yeah, I might have to actually look into those, because that would be nice. Have some lighter on ears from them that you enjoy. That's good. We are going too fast. Too fast, too furious. Oh my god. Okay. It's kind of inching along here. Basically, we're mostly focusing on defense and offense, I think. Because we really don't need any other stats for fighting D2D. Meteors! No, burning station, okay. I didn't even go over the checklist for City Trial yet, because I've just been obsessively trying to defeat D2D. So we'll try that really quickly. We'll go through that really quickly at the end, I think. Yeah, I don't know why I'm coughing so much today, but I am not a fan. But yeah, I actually do like Star Fox Command. It's a game I actually have a decent amount of nostalgia for, even though I fully admit it's not a good game. Its story is complete nonsense, but it is still a sentimental game to me, because it's how I got into Star Fox, for better or worse. I also still really enjoy Star Fox Assault, too. Again, a lot of it's nostalgia, I'll fully admit, because some of those levels are mean, and the lack of any checkpoints sucks. Okay, there are some checkpoints, but they're very few and far between. At least when like Claire did game clearing a few years ago, it felt like there weren't enough checkpoints, but again, it's been a hot minute since I played it myself. Like, if that comes to NSO, I'll be down. That game has apparently really good multiplayer. I've never played it because I don't have a lot of... I never had, like, local friends beyond, like, the neighbor kids I talked about in the earlier video, or earlier parts of this little series. The ones where we got a bunch of their NES games, because they didn't have an NES and we did. So like Top Gun being the main one, Flintstones. Again, I wish I remembered one, which Flintstones game it was, and two, I wish I'd also kept it because it could have been the one that's worth like $3,000 now. It's like if I, you know, had a copy and kept it of like the rare one. Again, I don't know the name of it. Yeah, that would have helped out finances quite a bit. I mean, even now I could sell off my collection of older games and could still be in pretty good shape, in all fairness. Cause like some of the games I own are stupidly expensive. Some of them have actually lost value. Path of Radiance is only $200 now. And that sounds really funny to say only $200, but it was over $300 for a while. The NSO announcement immediately caused it to fall a little bit, which is nice. It's still stupidly rare, but and also very expensive, but it is not nearly as expensive because everyone's trying to get out, basically. And like, Thousand Year Door went down with the remake. It was like also several $100s for a bit, but the remake dropped it down to like $100, which is like still a lot of money, obviously, but it's not nearly as rare, not nearly as like sought after. The other rarest games, or most expensive games I probably own, are the Pokemon DS games. I have like a lot of them. I have like both versions of Black 2 and White 2 both, or like I have Black 2 and White 2 both, and they were like $45 each at a GameStop one time, and I was like, I don't know if I need both. And then my mom talked me into it, because it's like, you will probably never see the other again, ever. And now I look and these games are like $200 each. So it's like, I could buy like a lot of things with just by selling these two copies of Black 2 and White 2. Which is really weird to think about. We have a lot of offense this time. So we shall see if that helps us. Again though, the problem with this mode is it really depends on what actual copy abilities drop. And they're really wanting to give us like Wheel and Tornado today, which is actually not helpful. Again, Needle would be the best. Bomb is like not great, but we'll roll with it. Or I could just miss the bomb throw entirely, that works too, I guess. Again, Needle is apparently like the speedrun strat. Like, I've seen speedruns in like 10 seconds using Needle. Where the hell is he? There he is. Stop running! Yeah, it turns out boss fights in a racing game are not the best idea. Who could have seen that coming? Yeah, I'm just having a hard time landing hits on him, period. Damn. The Hail Mary spin at the end, damn it. That was really close, though. Bummer. Good try. But really quickly, checking in on the checklist. Again, you can unlock the dragon parts as separate parts on the board, and then when you get all three, you can unlock them in free run. You basically have all the modes that are based on like previous versions, so Drag Race 3 requires Drag Race, or Drag Race 4 requires Drag Race 3 to unlock. You know, getting different high scores and modes. Some of these are actually really strict, like the Destruction Derbies are really annoying in my opinion, maybe because I'm bad at the combat in this game. The time ran out while all players are on the rails, so you either have to hook up multiple controllers, or pray that they... Actually, it says players. I don't know if that works in single player. KO King Deity in less than a minute. I feel like that actually wouldn't be too bad with the right build, but again... Also the right power-ups, which again, we didn't get good power-up luck at all. Some of these are just totally luck-based, like getting the Meteor Storm a certain amount of times. We got it like twice, I think. So yeah, in general, City Trial is the highlight of this game. Almost everyone agrees this is the highlight of the game. Again, I simultaneously do understand and don't have the best feelings towards Air Ride and Top Ride, but I also do almost feel like they're overhated. But again, it's kind of hard to deny that City Trial's the real star of the show. But I've kind of warmed up on Air Ride, I guess. So the credits, quote-unquote, for this mode is just like a little clip of all the Air Ride vehicles, Air Ride machines. Yeah, this is a very nostalgic game, but again, it's one where I totally understand criticisms for it because it is very bare bones in general. And again, it's part of the reason why I'm interested in a sequel so much, because there are so many opportunities to improve upon this formula. I'm really curious to see what they do with that, because There isn't a ton here, as is, I would say. Again, very light on content, and it's designed to just be, like, replayable. But I feel like the design philosophies of games in general, and also for Sakurai, are very different. Hi, you're sad now? Why are you sad now? Did you finish Steven Universe? I assume that's why you're sad. Anyway, hug. I shall give hug. Final bits of Season 5 hit hard. Yeah, I can... I don't know much about Steven Universe, but I can imagine that. But yeah, that basically wraps up our little look at Kirby Air Ride. This is just gonna be a one-off for a stream. On YouTube, it'll probably be a couple videos. I have no clue how I'm gonna edit down the attempts at D, and we didn't even win. So, oops. Yeah, next Fox Girls favorites, if I go in the order I currently have and don't add any other games on top of the current order, I think it will be Pikmin 2 next. Yeah, Pikmin 2 is the one I have next, but again, if I decide to do a couple other games, they would probably go in this slot, because, you know, around mid-2004. But yeah, next up might just be Pikmin 2. I think it's just Doritos having issues on Switch too. I'll double check though. Part of me hopes that the reason that they're kind of taking their time when patching the graphical glitches in Pikmin 3 is because they're adding mouse support, but that's definitely like me expecting too much, if I'm being honest. I don't think that's gonna happen, to be real. And then there are a couple games I'm not sure how to handle, to be honest. Thousand Doors is gonna be long as hell. How the hell do I cover Animal Crossing? Like, do I just time travel and do as much as I can in a stream? Do I try to do daily streaming of Animal Crossing? Because that sounds like a bad idea. Or just do a one-off like this? I don't know. Yeah, Nintendogs, that'll be a one-off probably. There's a story to Nintendogs, that'll be fun to talk about. I'm not gonna tip my hand on everything, to be fair, but... There's some good stuff coming up, and again, I might tweak the list to exclude DLC just to get a couple more games in. Though I've also missed the opportunity to do a few, so I might squeeze in some at the end. Be like, here's some bonus ones, because I forgot about these. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope everyone enjoyed today's little stream. This was a lot of fun to do. As always, I need to get an outro done. Like, I need to actually have, like, outro things to say, so I'm not just sitting here like... I don't know what I'm saying right now, because I am bad at streaming. It's like, hi, if you enjoyed the stream, you can follow for notifications of when I go live in the future. I have a YouTube channel for, like, edited down streams as highlights. I have a VOD channel for full archives minus intermissions. I have a Blue Sky for notifications, and also just me retweeting art of anime characters, or video game characters usually. And some political stuff, as a warning. I also post about when I go live. There's a coffee if you want to donate, but it's completely optional. Just hanging out and chilling is a lot of support. It means a lot to me. And yeah, any additional donations or support are completely optional, but are greatly appreciated, as you might expect. I do have goals, by the way. They're under the stream, like incentive goals. If I get to certain donation goals this year, I'll do extra playthroughs at some point. But those are subject to change. I might swap out some of them. I'm being tagged that apparently Espa is doing a Street Fighter 6 collab. Hello? I got completely derailed because I just got pinged and I didn't have Do Not Disturb on. Oh no, now I have to explain Espa to everybody. Oh no. Quick, what's a well-known Espa song? I guess next level works. I'm just gonna drop next level in this chat, and I'm just gonna move on. I got completely derailed because of that, but yeah, I have donation goals set up, but again, no pressure whatsoever to donate if you're not able to. Try and think of anything else to say for an outro, and I'm drawing a blank because my brain is mush. After staying up till 6 AM all week for reasons I will not disclose. As in, I've just been hyperfixating, that's the actual reason. I don't know why I'm making it sound so secretive, it's just been mostly hyperfixating on K-pop, and then being like, oh my god, it's 6 AM, why am I still listening to Cherry Sky on loop for 2 hours or something like that? Why are you making it sound secretive? Exactly. It's like, I realized that partway through, I was like, why am I trying to make this sound secretive? This makes no sense. There's notation for a really dumb joke about having to actually try to learn a song and sing it on stream, which would be very embarrassing for myself, as I'm very self-conscious about singing, frankly. So yeah, I don't think that would be a good incentive for me, but I almost would consider it. And I know my friends are going to pick songs that will be very awkward for me to try and learn to sing. Because that's just how this goes. I don't know why I'm still here. I need to stop myself. Again, I got distracted. Yeah, that's it. I think that's all the outro stuff I need to do, or would like to do. Oh yeah, I still need to work on more emotes. I need to actually ask friends about commissions and stuff. I am tired. This was a long stream, but again, I'm not gonna talk about that in too much detail. I guess we'll raid Star, because she's probably alive. Playing a game called Out of Sight for a Twitch Suggests. I do not know what this game is. I actually don't know what won the poll either that would result in this game being played. Like, I guess we can raid Star. That's like my kind of safe pick for raiding. I kind of am like that, to be honest, where it's like, I tend to just raid the same people a lot, because it's like, I'm scared of like raiding people I don't know very well. You know, touch his fingers together, like the emote. Someday I'll get braver about raiding channels people I'm less familiar with, but today is not today. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope everyone has a good rest of your day, good rest of your evening, good weekend, because next stream... Oh yeah, next stream will probably be Monday. Hell if I know what we're doing on Monday, because I could start Pikmin 2, or I could do a game cleaning. I've also done nothing for Pride Month so far. So I should think about that at some point. But again, that's a problem for future me. So good night everybody, hope you all have a good rest of your day, and take care!